It's not a win for anybody. It's a miserable deal. Basically, the EU felt it had no choice but to accept the imposition, unilateral imposition by Trump of a 15% tariff. The alternatives were worse. Trump was threatening 30% tariffs on all EU exports. That would have led to a complete trade war, which the EU cannot afford to have, given the very tense geopolitical situation that the world faces. So the EU basically resigned itself to this 15% tariff.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, perhaps the most prominent advocate of that dreaded COVID passport, was out there advocating that we all have to have digital IDs because the future will be digital. You shouldn't have privacy, apparently. Yeah, that's what she believes. She claims that the IDs can be a real booster to emerging economies. The trick is to build public digital infrastructure, she said, that is interoperable, open to all, and trusted.
Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. It's Sunday, which means we're going to take you all around the world with this week's top news stories, which include and are not limited to the fact that Trump has made a deal with Ursula the Witch von der Leyen and the EU. Now, the EU, and they're not exactly happy with the deal.
They're not really happy.
They're not happy times for them.
What do you call... You're not, so there's the European, there's Europeans, right? But that doesn't mean that everybody in Europe is actually in the European Union, right? Because Sweden is not.
Right.
And so what do you call the government entity, the citizens of the government entity known as the European
Union with the flag with the stars?
Do you call them EUers? EUers. What do you guys call them? Because they're a separate. It's a political entity.
It is.
Like you need a name,
right?
There's Europeans, but then not everybody in Europe is part of the European Union,
right?
So what do you call yourselves? No,
Unioners. No, because that goes back. That harkens to like American history. I think that would be bad.
No, so you guys don't have a good name. I need a good name because this is Trump's making separate deals over there in the. Denmark and Finland and Scandinavia over there. I don't even know. I don't know if Denmark's in the European Union or not. I know that he had make a deal over Greenland and stuff. Like he wasn't dealing with the European Union on that. So,
here's the thing. So he still has to. Hang on, European Union. There we go. He still has to make deals with their countries. It's not like the European. It's not like everything with a country goes through the European Union. Yes, Denmark is a member of the European Union as of 1973.
So, but Finland and Norway, I don't think Finland. Let's see if Finland and Norway are, because I don't think Sweden is.
Okay, if I'm going to type, you have to talk.
Okay, if she's going to.
I usually do the intro, so if I'm typing, I'm happy to do it.
You just started typing and talking.
Okay, is Finland? We'll do it together in the European.
Just put.
No, because you want it in the Union. I can't just say EU. Right? Yeah. Because that would be the
Europe. EU. No. Yes, Finland is.
Okay. So I think you might be wrong about a bunch of stuff here.
Norway
today.
and Sweden.
You're not invoking a lot of confidence in our ability to do world news.
I know it's one of them.
When you're missing some of these things right out of the gate. All right. So while Leah's looking up what countries are actually in or not in the European Union.
No. Sweden is. Norway is not. It's just Norway. Okay. There we go. It's just Norway.
Okay, so should we rewind and scratch that whole intro?
No, just keep
going. Because
you
kept saying Sweden is not.
I thought all the Vikings decided, we're going to be individuals. But you didn't. You're
I can
all
only
just a
imagine
bunch
the
of,
chat right now from
you're
people
all just
that
a bunch
already
of
knew
losers.
that.
Here's the thing, guys. You know, I saw somebody the other day
embarrassing.
say, I don't even care about Europeans. Guys, we don't learn anything about you people. Okay? We just watch Rick Steves. You have nice castles. All right? Even
I've been doing this
show. I've been doing this show since 2017. How many member states are in the European Union? But like it's a, you know.
They don't, if they teach this stuff in public school, it's really just memorization. It doesn't sink in. Like nobody
cares.
really understands.
Why would you care?
But we care, and that's why we've been talking about the European Union, and we still don't know what the heck we're talking about for 8 years. Mm-hmm. All right, so also in this week's top world news stories.
Yes.
There is a march that took place in Manchester. It's huge in the UK. Mm-hmm. These marches, I'm always surprised at how...
many people show up.
Okay, 100% that, and where do you park? Like, it's the UK, so I don't understand how y'all get there. Mm-hmm. Are you transported? Is there some sort of like Star Trek thing I don't know about? Mm-hmm. I don't know how y'all get there, but no, I'm surprised at the amount of numbers that are then downplayed by the mainstream media.
Yeah, that's true.
This one, I don't think that it can be downplayed because the numbers are absolutely massive. Mm-hmm. And I really like that you guys do these marches. We don't, here in the US, we don't get, do you think it's the concentration of people in small areas? Because like we are not able to achieve the level of marches that take place around the world.
Yeah. So I saw,
I think we're just too spread thin.
Down in our little town of Milford, there was a little get together, all boomers, all white people. And it was anti-Trump because of his immigration stuff.
Right. So it's all white people for the immigrants.
It's funny. Like, because here's the thing. They don't want them here. They don't want poor people here. They don't want immigrants here. They do want them to do, put their roofs on and leave.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, it's actually embarrassing. So,
I want to talk about the tariffs because they went into effect.
You want to go right into
the
that?
First or second? I'm helping you do your intro.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I'm talking about the tariffs, I don't really have a full, book-ended view on these tariffs because number one, they're changing all the time.
Yeah.
Number two, I don't know exactly the motivation of Trump behind them. And if I knew, then that would help us a lot.
Yeah.
And there's so many different angles because there's a 50% tariff on Brazil because of what they're doing to Bolsonaro. So that's like a wild card as far as tariffs go, right? And then I got a clip from Rand Paul talking about how when it comes to Trump's legacy, he is going to be known as like a king with a kingdom who is not going through his Congress to essentially tax the people. Let's not kid around. These tariffs are taxes. And I was talking to the woman the other day. I think I told you guys I was talking to a neighbor. And we're talking about how prices were high and things were and she knew she's been watching us on a podcast. So she asked me, she goes, I do have a question for you. And I was like, okay,
we're ready. Ask away.
What do you think about the tariffs? Voted for Trump 3 times.
Right. She did. We didn't.
Yeah. She voted for Trump 3 times. She supports Donald Trump. She's watching Fox News, I'm sure. But she just doesn't feel right or understand the tariffs because there's so much mixed messaging. And there is so much mixed messaging because I'm going to play a clip.
You're going to answer the question.
I'm going to play a clip for you of a montage of a bunch of CNN, MSNBC people saying that these are great. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think I'm going to tell you my theory of what is happening. We're going to kind of go over the facts. And we need to understand that there are more things at play than just an American first agenda.
I would like to participate in this conversation.
Okay.
So historically, resistance chicks have been almost hands down pro tariffs. Okay. Meaning, when you look at the history of our nation, we didn't have to have the income tax, and property taxes were structured based on the way that your property produced, not just for living in your house. Mm-hmm. So most of the income for the United States came through tariffs. Mm-hmm. Love it. That's how it should be. Mm-hmm. It's a protectionist stance, though. Mm-hmm. It's not intended as much to make money as it is to protect what is already being produced in the United States. Tariffs, and you all know this, it's a tax that is put on any incoming goods that are already produced here in the United States. Okay, so if there's something that we can't produce here, no tariffs, right? So you're supposed to be protecting your people with this. Here's the problem. This is the rub. How do you get from where we are today and go backwards to where we were before? Because the transition can't be what Trump is trying to do, because we don't have that stuff anymore. Because a lot of what used to be produced in the United States in mass is now massively produced in other countries. So we're dependent on those other countries for goods that used to be highly produced here in the United States. And so prices are just skyrocketing because we have to have the things, and the infrastructure and the businesses are no longer here. They've dried up. Look at Detroit, Michigan. It's just not happening. And so what we're looking at is this complete crumble. You can't just say we're going to tariff. Okay, let me reword this and I'll finish with this. If the idea behind tariffs is to protect what's already being produced in the United States so that it doesn't go under, and yet you are then putting tariffs on something that's really hardly being produced in the United States at all, and we're dependent on it coming, it doesn't work that way. So that's why I have that's one of the reasons why I have a giant problem with the tariffs right now, because you are literally pulling the legs out from underneath of everybody. You know, so for those of you that know, we have an online store for our homemade products. I'm relying on packaging from China. And I'm not saying this because I couldn't care less whether I can't get my packaging, whatever, we'd figure it out. But the point is, I would love to be able to have this produced in the United States. I would pay extra to have it produced in the United States, but it's not there right now. So all it's doing is costing me more. And so the argument that Trump is making is make it more expensive, and that will incentivize businesses to pop up in the United States to make a 2 ounce bottle, glass bottle right here. Okay. But how long is that going to take? Rather than trying to do things that will give us the things that we need ahead of time, we're just left lurching. And the tax isn't really on the other nations, and that's the problem. The other nations aren't really paying it as much as they're just passing that cost on to you and me. So technically, this hardline stance that Trump is taking of tariffs, okay, I'm still going to get these bottles. They're going to raise the price. I'm going to pay it. You're going to pay it, right? It's going to get passed along. So really, Trump is saying that he's taxing other nations and that we're getting in all this money from other nations, when really the extra tax is just coming from you and me. That's it. Full stop. So we're not there yet. There needs to be a better solution than what's happening. That's all.
No, that's really good. So in talking about Trump's tariffs, it's very hard to explain because they are all over the place. 4 months after Trump stunned the world and rattled global markets by unveiling Liberation Day tariff rates, his latest revisions announced Thursday, so he keeps revising, and it's really hard to keep track of, and set to go into effect in a week, sparked fresh global equity futures selling early Friday morning with an average tariff rate of 15%. The world now faces the highest U.S. levies since the Great Depression days of the 1930s, and these rates are roughly 6 times higher than they were 1 year ago and will certainly lead to further rejiggering of supply chains. The new tariff rates are set to take effect in just 7 days, starting at 12:01 a.m. And this article was written on Friday. So baseline 10% tariff will apply to imports from most countries. Here's what you need to know. 10% global minimum tariff imposed on all imports. Canada, the tariff was raised to 35% from 25%. Canada is sticking to its guns, and the Canadians are ready to just, stick it out and starve to death. I don't know. It's an interesting move there. But goods under the USMCA remain exempt. Switzerland, a tariff increased to 39% from 31%. Swiss officials criticized the change, citing divergence from prior draft terms. We're changing that. We're changing that. We're changing that. 40 countries. That would be the EU. Imports face of a 15% tariff on the EU. Europeans are really not happy about this. 12 plus economies hit with even higher duties. China and Mexico, their deadline has been delayed by 90 days. So China put down their foot, and Trump said okay and went away crying with his tail between his legs, because you can't mess with Chinese goods, because everything you touch in your entire house virtually has a component that came all the way from China.
1,000%.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
It's terrible.
It's crazy to think about that. Almost nearly everything, almost every item in our home has had a component, whether it's a bottle or it has a component in it that came from China.
Right.
That's insane. That's insane, right? Okay. So there's a list here of the U.S. reciprocal tariffs by trade partners. There's the August 1st rate and then the August 2nd rate. Looks like we're going down there for Afghanistan. The Afghanis are getting a deal. Bangladesh. These are, wait, no. The list of U.S. reciprocal tariffs by trade partners.
So what you're explaining here, what I'm scrolling through here is on the right, if you're looking at your screen, is the rate of reciprocal tariffs that they had prior to this deal. So Trump's made a deal, and it's supposed to look like they've backed down. Switzerland did not. They doubled down. So the reciprocal tariffs went up for Switzerland and not down. Some of the places have stayed the same.
The multi-month wave of tariffs threats.
Like the Vietnam, the reciprocal tariffs that they had prior to this deal was 46. And
no.
Yes,
no.
Look at the date.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was thinking that I had a little dyslexia. It looked like August 1st, August 2nd, but
April
I see
2nd.
now.
There
April
you go.
2nd. So yeah, those they should have it backwards.
It's a little confusing.
It's a little
The orange
confusing.
is what it is now. The blue is what it was. So post Trump's deal, pre Trump's deal.
Those are down a lot.
They are down a lot. A lot of people are backing down.
All right, let's go to some of these videos here, and we'll try to explain what in the wide world of tariffs is going on.
The EU and United States have agreed to a sweeping trade deal on the eve of the August 1st deadline set by the US president. Donald Trump and the European Commission president announced the breakthrough on Sunday. The agreement will see tariffs of 15% on the vast majority of European goods. Though details remain sketchy, some industries are already emerging as winners as the EU managed to secure carve-outs for certain sectors. Ursula von der Leyen acknowledged that 15% is not to be underestimated, but she's said it's the best deal she could get. For more on the reactions coming in from across the bloc, here's Pierre Benazet reporting from Brussels.
There were positive comments, for instance, obviously the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, because this deal is going to be a blessing for the automakers in Germany, which heavily depend on exports to the US ever since the trade war with China is looming. The Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, said that it was positive, that it would bring stability, exactly the words that Ursula von der Leyen, the Commission's president, was using, predictability, stability. But Giorgia Meloni also said that the positive thing is that a deal was signed. And that's the main positive reaction in Europe, because, as you said, this deal is deemed unequal by the French European Affairs ministers. It is obviously far more than what most European countries were willing to accept. 50% is quite a lot, and it's going to cost the livelihood of many small and medium enterprise-sized businesses trying to export to the US. It will bring stability, yes, and predictability, yes, but it is far more than what used to be the case before Trump arrived. It's far more than what the Europeans managed to agree upon with Donald Trump during his first term at the White House. So this is not a very good deal, even if the Europeans have managed to have the non-tariff barriers still in place. For instance, VAT, that the Trump administration pretends it does not understand how it works. So it is a deal. At least there is a deal, and that's what we can say as of now.
At least there's a deal. I don't know that it's a great deal.
I don't know.
The next one?
Employment rate tick up to 4.2%.
Yeah.
me now live is Nomura chief economist David Seif on set with me, and Mainstay Capital Management founder, CEO, and chief investment strategist David Kudla. It's the Davids, so I will use your last names, and I will start with you, David Kudla. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in on a Friday in August, right? Summer Fridays. What is the real state of the United States economy?
Well, good afternoon, Lauren and David. I think the real state of the U.S. economy is this. You know, we've talked about this on the show about a stagflationary light economy. What do we mean by that? We've got 3% GDP growth in the second quarter. GDP now is around 2.1% on the latest read for the third quarter. We just got a jobs number that was very disappointing. The revisions are disappointing. So we have an economy that's okay. Some concern about the labor market.
I don't feel okay.
And inflation, our inflation read was a little hotter than expected. So we're calling this stagflation light. That's really where we think we are on the economy. Does it concern us a lot right now? No, it doesn't. And we think that with the prospect of the stimulus coming from OBBBA and the
So I'm stopping here. I just wanted you guys to hear. This is what the messaging is. When
this
they're
is the
not,
talking point.
Yeah, this is the talking point.
This is not what we're saying.
But if you back up, you have stocks tumble on tariffs, weak payrolls. There was a jobs report. I don't fall for any of this economy mumbo jumbo stuff. They act like it is the end all be all of life, like how the economy is doing. No, these are real people. I hate the word the economy. These are real people making real transactions, and you are willy-nilly going around making these kind of huge decisions based on people's lives and livelihoods. And when these guys are going on Fox News, who are supposed to be rah-rahing Trump and backing him up for the administration, they're saying, well, it's not really great. We're not really worried. That is them. They're actually screaming in the back, fire, fire, fire. But they have to have Trump come to the surface and say, hey, it's not a big, everything's great. Everything's great. So Trump is everything's great. These guys are like, it's okay. Behind the thing, they're saying it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. The same thing that was happening going with Joe Biden. Trump, I don't know exactly what he's trying to do here. I think he's trying to pretend like somehow we can pay down 30 bazillion trillion in debt. That's not how this works, okay? This is not, you can't, what you're doing is you're trying to wring blood out of a turnip. The companies never, ever, ever pay. The countries don't pay. It's not like Bangladesh's government that isn't already taking taxes from its people is going to be paying the United States or whatever, okay? This money, it's not like the corporations, the bad guys, the people that you think have money. That's not, unfortunately, how these tariffs are going to work. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of where the Trump people...
For the past couple of months, the U.S. has been trying...
are kind of trying to play it like down. Like it's not
everything's
worried.
Fine here.
It's just a little stagflation. The job numbers weren't so great.
We're not that worried about it.
Yeah.
To rush through bespoke deals with all of its major trading partners. This whole deal-making fiasco really kicked off after Trump's so-called Liberation Day on April 2nd, when Trump threatened massive tariffs on basically everyone. After panic in the financial markets, Trump announced on April 9th that the vast majority of the Liberation Day tariffs would be delayed for 90 days, sparking a rush to negotiate what the Trump team claimed would be 90 deals in 90 days. When this didn't happen, Trump extended the deadline to August 1st, and given that most of the countries on the Liberation Day list are still waiting on a deal, this deadline will probably be extended again. Nonetheless, we've now got enough deals on the table to get a sense of what Trump wants out of them. So in this video, we thought we'd take a look through all of the deals so far, and whether Trump is really winning the trade wars. Dive deep into the current state of America. Discussing our real thoughts is to basically threaten massive tariffs and then demand concessions from the other country in order to bring that tariff rate back down. And, well, this seems to have worked. Trump usually extracts some pretty eye-catching concessions, and while the final tariff rate comes in lower than he might have threatened, it's usually still pretty high by recent standards. With the EU, for instance, Trump threatened a 50% tariff rate, forced the EU Commission to make a whole load of concessions, including buying $750 billion worth of American energy products over the next 3 years, and investing $600 billion into the US, before settling for a 15% tariff anyway.
I need you guys to understand something. We're not going to gloss over this, but I'm going to leave this up. Trump is not negotiating for your mom and pop service person. Like, he is negotiating for Europe to buy $750 billion of U.S. energy. Do you understand who he is negotiating on behalf of? It's very small amount of United States citizens are in a position to sell energy to the EU. Okay? So, but those same very few people give Trump lots of these. And they want to recoup their investment. Do you understand? Okay? This is not about American, like, farmers or little guys or all of you who take off work to go to a Trump rally. Because guess what? The energy guy is too busy trying to work the market to go to a Trump rally, but he will pay the $50,000 a plate to go to the Indian Hill dinner so he can shake a couple hands and be like, yo, Trump, I'm behind your tariffs. This is what we want from the European Union. Trump, do you guys wake up every day and be like, I'm thinking, Michelle, this is what I would really like to do. I want to make a deal. I would like my goods to be sold in Europe. So I would like to lobby the EU so that my stuff doesn't have a 15% tax. Name to me a ballpark, the amount of United States citizens that wake up every day thinking, man, I really wish that there were less tariffs on my goods going to Europe.
Yeah, I don't even have a figure for that. It would be so tiny.
So when people are saying Trump really worked great for the United States, it's not as if the United States government makes energy.
Right.
So then that would go to the rest of the people. This is it. We're not Venezuela. Venezuelans are get like a payout.
Everything that you just said, that's the most important. So let's highlight that and then we can finish this. But like, it's not like they're buying it from the U.S. government. It's not like the U.S. government is going to get this direct. Now, there will be taxes, right? You've got, income taxes or whatever. But these people find loopholes. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So essentially, Trump's not saying, oh, look, they bought it from the U.S. people.
Right.
They just bought it from some very rich American citizens or companies.
Thank you. So then, now, but we get cool things from Europe.
Yeah.
We get some Kerrygold butter, right?
We do. Yeah.
I go to Jungle Jim's. Jungle Jim's are really cool because it has it's the only store that I know of in any region that has products from every country.
Well, Trader Joe's. It's the equivalent of Trader Joe's. So Trader Joe's and Jungle Jim's are the same thing. Oh yeah, that's
never
what they
been
do.
in there.
Right. Well, because we don't have a Trader Joe's
Is
near
it
us.
big? Jungle Jim's is huge.
It's pretty big.
Okay. Well, Jungle Jim's is huge. And we go in and there's like a whole aisle for Poland.
Yeah, I think that Trader Joe's has the same stuff.
So it's really cool. Well, but I'm not usually going there to buy a lot of stuff. So let me just tell you. But here's the thing. This is my question. What are some of the things are IKEA pieces of furniture actually made in Sweden?
I think so.
And is IKEA going to
because a lot of the directions are in Swedish.
Yeah, they are. I can't read it though.
Right. Definitely. The way that they come in that box.
Yeah.
That Americans didn't put that together.
Right. So let me explain something.
And Chinese didn't.
I'm going to explain something to you.
Do you want me to make this big?
See. No, it's okay. You're going to see. Because I'm pointing to this. You're going to see. You're going to see that the things that you might buy from Europe. Because here's the thing. Raise your hand if you're a Euro snob. In that, you would rather buy something from Europe than even certainly from China.
Oh, 100%. The one thing that I keep thinking of is the pasta that we buy. We have pasta from Italy that we buy that's from Italy that
it's going to be 15 cents more.
Love. Mm-hmm. Well, it's more than 15 cents on the dollar more.
It's 15%, so it'll be
15 cents on the dollar, but
15
the pasta's
cents on
not a dollar.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So 45 cents.
Yeah. So, but and you're right about the European pasta because we know that Italian flour
doesn't have the GMOs. It doesn't have the Roundup. All of that.
So I encourage you, if you don't buy if you're going to buy pasta, buy it all that's imported from Italy. It's not that much more expensive.
So for those of you that shop at Kroger or a Kroger affiliate, it's private. Mm-hmm. A lot of the private selection sometimes you can get it and it'll be from
right. Exactly. So guess what? Those prices are just going to go up. It's
and
not
so we're
like
going to pay it.
It's not like the companies are going to.
My pasta is going to cost me more pasta. It's going to cost me more money to buy the pasta. It's not going to cost Italy any more money to send me the pasta. It's just going to cost me more money to buy the pasta.
Yeah, exactamandio.
That is not a word in Italian.
Exactamandio.
Just say si.
Si.
That's what you get.
Okay.
15% is obviously lower than 50%, but it's still far higher than the roughly 4% average tariff that the EU was facing before Trump. This is why the deal has caused so much upset in Europe. Many European leaders apparently feel that the deal was essentially a lose-lose, because the EU still ended up with a higher tariff rate than they had beforehand, but they also had to make a whole load of expensive concessions. The deal with Japan, which Trump announced a week earlier, followed a similar pattern. Trump threatened a 35% tariff, forced Japan into making a whole load of concessions, including expansions of rice imports from the US and a commitment to invest $550 billion in the US, before setting it at a 15% tariff anyway. Again, from a certain perspective, this looks like a lose-lose for Japan, which might be why Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba waited until a day after the upper house elections in order to announce it. The deal with the Philippines went much the same way. Trump threatened a 20% tariff, the Philippines agreed to reduce tariffs on US imports and deepen military cooperation, and then Trump brought down the final tariff to 19%. With Indonesia, Trump threatened a 32% tariff. Indonesia agreed to reduce tariffs on US imports, buy $15 billion worth of American energy products, and 50 Boeing jets, and Trump then brought the tariff rate down to 19%. In Vietnam, Trump threatened a 46% tariff. Vietnam agreed to reduce tariffs on US imports and take steps to limit transshipments, i.e. Chinese exports being rerouted via Vietnam, and Trump brought the tariff rate down to 20%. With the UK, Trump threatened a 25% tariff on UK car exports. The UK agreed to buy $10 billion worth of Boeing planes and accept new reciprocal trading rules for beef and ethanol, and Trump brought it down to a baseline 10%, albeit with a quota system.
I'm so confused. So he said that we made an agreement to buy Boeing planes. That's a very specific thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. Who's lobbying? Who's getting out of this deal?
Idea then. From Trump's perspective, it looks like things are going pretty great. He's getting both massive tariffs and some pretty eye-catching concessions. Furthermore, so far tariffs don't seem to have hurt the US economy as much as economists expected them to. Inflation hasn't skyrocketed, and the US is still on track to outgrow its G7 peers. Exporters have also struggled to find alternatives to the US market, and so have continued to sell their products in the US despite tariffs. This allowed the US Treasury to rake in some serious revenues. The Treasury has collected an extra $20 billion in June, helping it to post an unexpected monthly surplus. Nonetheless, while it's true that Trump's tariff-centric deal-making is going better than expected, there are at least 3 caveats worth mentioning. The first is that while they might be eye-catching, it's not clear that many of these so-called concessions will actually happen. The European Commission, for instance, has already said that its pledges were merely intentions, noting that the Commission doesn't have the legal authority to direct private companies to buy from or invest in the US. Similarly, Japan has already pushed back against Trump's interpretation of the $550 billion pledge. Trump originally claimed that Japan was basically giving him $550 billion to invest in the US as he wanted. But Japan has since come out to say that A, the $550 billion figure is a maximum ceiling, not a requirement, and B, that only 2% will come from actual investment, with the remaining 98% coming in the form of loans or loan guarantees. Similarly,
so please don't let that go in one ear and out the other as we're listening to this. Essentially, what we're just being told by this young man, if you believe him, I kind of do, that a lot of the things that Trump is putting out on social media aren't true. They're a form of the truth. So when he says that Japan is going to invest $550 billion, Japan comes back and says, that's actually just a ceiling. That's the maximum that we're going to do. That's not a requirement. So just because Trump puts it out on Truth Social or on Twitter doesn't mean it's true. Again, the European Union has said that this the $600 billion investment that they have said that they would do into the United States is really just their intentions, because at the end of the day, they cannot force individual companies, because that's who needs to do it. It's not going to be the EU itself, but that does it. It's not going to come from like the EU coffers. They're not going to invest in the United States. They're just going to try to, incentivize people. This doesn't even make any sense.
Okay, so I went to Grok, and I don't really like using AI, but honestly, I have spent the past week really trying to find somebody who would give me some honest answers, and nobody's writing articles about the tariffs. And actually, before I do that, I want you to see the mainstream media and how they are talking about Trump's tariffs. This one, Michelle, this Twitter. Yeah. Thank you. This is why I am
leery.
Yeah.
Trade deal announced with the European Union. The Financial Times says the deal marks a victory for Trump.
Is this a fantastic deal then struck by Donald Trump?
Absolutely a victory on behalf of the Trump administration.
Isabel, the bottom line is this is the biggest trade deal in President Trump's effort to effectively reshape the global trading order.
On this deal, the European Union, this is a big win for the U.S.
The bigger picture is that Trump is still very much pursuing his longer-term goal of achieving what he perceives to be fairness for America.
It's a triumph of a lot of things. Certainly, the president ought to take a victory lap. I think it ends up being good for the European Union. It's a blow against the conventional wisdom.
Trade deal.
So I'm sorry, I have gigantic problems. I got big fat problems whenever the mainstream media comes out and says, "Yay, Trump, good job. Yay, Trump, you done did it. And this is good for the European Union. It's good for the United States. It's good for everybody." So when you see the mainstream media touting, "Go Trump, he did a good job," I'm going to step back and go, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? No, you guys, you know better than this. We know better than this.
We know better.
When you know better, you do better.
So what they decided was that Trump is a businessman and they wanted to use Trump to get better business deals. And so it's who's going to be on top at each given time. And I think that the tech guys went to Trump and said, "We will back and support you. You back and support us." So I asked Grog what specific goods would be hit with Trump's tariffs. Trump's tariffs implemented or proposed in 2025 target a wide range of imported goods, significantly impacting items Americans commonly purchase. These tariffs include a 10% universal tariff on everything, and 25% tariffs on goods from Canada that went up to 35%, and Mexico, but we're not doing that one yet. And this one, I started to ask, I said, I just want to know, will IKEA cost more for Americans? Yes. IKEA prices are likely to increase for Americans due to President Trump's tariffs implemented or proposed in 2025. IKEA sources a significant portion of its furniture and home goods from countries like China, which will have a tariff, Vietnam, which does have their tariff now, 20%, and Poland, actually, 20% reciprocal tariff, which are subject to the 10% universal tariff and the higher country-specific tariffs. Furniture, a major import category, could also see price hikes of 20 to 40% as retailers pass on tariff costs. For example, items like sofas, dining tables, and shelving units, which are among IKEA's top-selling products, are heavily imported, and industry reports indicate that companies like IKEA are already planning price adjustments to offset these costs. What's a price adjustment?
They're just going to hike it, so you got to pay it, man.
So then I said, well, shoes cost more. Yes. Shoes are likely to cost more for Americans due to President Trump's tariffs in 2025 because of the Vietnam tariff. Indonesia has the 10% tariff. And then major brands like Nike, Adidas, and Crocs, which rely heavily on these countries for production. So what's amazing is that these are American countries, but this is what happens. You offshore, and Trump is acting like, okay, God, help me explain this to people. I don't actually know. Adidas are they still? It's actually Adidas.
I know it is, but everyone knows it.
No,
as
it's Adidas because they're German, right?
I know
are they still
what
German?
It is.
Are they still German? So I have a question on that one. But Nike is an American company. So here's the rub. Okay, Pumpkin. Michelle, let's pretend we actually had a U.S. shoe. So we used to take care of an older guy, and he was an executive at U.S. Shoe, and he said that they had these machines, right? They had the Italian leather shoes, and they had gym shoes, and they had machines that would run these shoes over and over and over again to test the glue and to test the wear on the shoe.
Yeah.
And he said, because I was showing him my gym shoes were kind of peeling apart, and he's like, "You're kidding? Those look brand new." And he said, that would not fly with our shoes. Right? Made here in the United States.
He was literally directly involved in making sure
there was a shoe manufacturing.
That glue was the highest quality. And he's like, listen, if back when I was doing it, the quality of glue was available, it's available.
Right. And so this was a manufacturing down in downtown Cincinnati. It's gone out of business. Why? because they've offshored things to Bangladesh and Indonesia.
Right.
So what we're doing here is tariffs I want you to forgive me for a second. I want you to, I want you to forgive me forever. Okay. Because I don't think that I had a good grasp on these tariffs. And I guess we all didn't really, and my brain was not putting it all together. So let me explain to you, as you're talking about historic tariffs. Historic tariffs would be awesome.
Yeah.
I love tariffs because we have, and this is how tariffs are supposed to work. We have a manufacturing company, pays good wages, good jobs.
Yeah.
A man could support his family at USU.
Yeah.
They're treated great. You could, I mean, I know this company,
Right.
USU. I remember, I don't know if I remember it, but I know this company. And I remember talking to Jerry about it. People were paid a decent wage. They got benefits. They got retirement. It was like a real company, right? And so what a tariff would do is say, no, Nike, even though you are quote unquote headquartered in the United States because you are a snob and don't want to live in Bangladesh or Indonesia, right?
Okay.
But you're going to go to Indonesia and Bangladesh and Thailand and you're going to outsource these goods. We're going to say no.
Yeah.
We're going to say no. We're going to put a tariff on all shoes. And that if you're going to be making shoes, you make them in the United States. And so we're going to protect U.S. shoe from cheap foreign shoes.
Right.
Right? And that is what a good example of a tariff. Let's say we grew coffee in the United States. And we had a lot of really good coffee growers that, spent a lot of money and time into that. So what we would do is, I'm sorry, Brazil, we're going to protect our American coffee growers from
100%,
you.
Yeah.
With all of these kind of universal businesses and these international businesses, tariffs are just now taxes.
Yeah.
And they're not helping the little guy.
They're not a protectionist feature. That's not what they are at all. They're just taxes. I would like to read some comments when you're done.
Okay, let me just do a couple more here.
Go ahead.
So, for example, a $100 pair of sneakers would rise to $110 to $130.
Wow.
Retailers like Walmart and Target, where Americans frequently buy shoes, are also likely to reflect these increases. Will coffee cost more? Yes. Coffee is likely to cost more for Americans due to Trump's tariffs. The U.S. imports 80% of its coffee beans, primarily from Latin American countries like Brazil, which is going to have a 50% tariff effective rate. Colombia, a 10% reciprocal tariff. Roasted coffee prices already have risen 12.7%, and instant coffee 16% year over year from June of 2025. These tariffs are expected to drive taxes higher. For example, a standard bag of coffee beans or ground coffee at a store like Walmart or Starbucks could see price increases of 10 to 20% or more, depending on the supply chain impact. So when you start looking, and I'm not going to be a panicking. I'm not going to be a panicking.
You just made up a word.
A panicking. Okay. But if everything we buy, and unfortunately, we have to put this into perspective. And I'm doing this live on air. Okay. And I'm going to get to your comments. Guys, we don't make stuff here. We don't make a lot of stuff here. We're consumers. Yeah. Tariffs don't work.
For a consumer
society. Country. Tariffs would work if we're like Brazil and we're exporting coffee and all the fruit and leather, and they're exporting, like they're just boom 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 boom. But we're consuming them.
Yeah.
Okay. So tariffs aren't really going to work. And so if you're thinking on the bottom line, if you're looking at your bottom line, your income is going to need to raise 15 to 20% this year, just to keep what you normally buy at your budget. So let's say you make 50 grand a year, just simple. Okay. If you don't make 12,000, 10% is going to be 5,000. If you don't make $7,500 more a year this year, and these go into effect, and let's say they're in effect for a year, you will have, you don't buy anything different. It's going to cost you $7,500 to $75.
No, you just have to. We will all have to live below what the standard that we've been living at.
No, what's going
to buy less?
No, but you won't understand. This is worse than the frog in boiling water, right? because these 10 to 20% tariff things, you don't notice it. You don't feel it at 10 to 20%. You don't feel it because you'd only feel it like at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's what I'm
or
saying.
Or at the end of 2 months. But then you're like, wait a minute. So do I stop buying the Italian spaghetti? Like, what do I do? Is there an alternative?
Right.
And in a lot of cases, there's not an alternative.
Right. So I'm with Leah, not to freak anybody out, because we're going to pray. We're praying against this, and we're praying that God's people will be protected. And that's what we see throughout the Bible, right? When the plagues came on Egypt, the children of Israel were protected. And there are so many scriptures that we could get into about how God's people will be protected. So I'm not going to say that God's people will be protected on a whole, because it's all about the open doors that you have. But you in particularly, when you seek God, God wants to protect you.
Yeah.
But we have to stay in this place of obedience, of seeking him. And we have to understand that this is a spiritual warfare. We can't just sit back and just talk about it. We can't just say, oh, look, this big thing is happening. And we can't just sit in a shell and hunker down and say, oh my gosh, whatever. This is a spiritual attack and affront on not just America, but on the world. And this is the devil coming to consume, to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And we have to fight it like that. We have to fight it like it is spiritual warfare, because that is exactly what it is. The devil is coming to take and take and take from you. And so we have to fight it at every turn and trust that when we do fight the devil, God will take care of us. That's what Lee and I have been doing this past week, obviously in the last 8 months, but specifically this past week, we're trusting that God protects us when we fight for him. So I do want to get to some of these comments here. Unless you want to go ahead and read that.
One more thing, because this is really.
Go ahead.
This is. We're looking to try to get a new used car, and I'm really looking towards Toyota if I can find
only because we need cars that aren't going to break every 5 seconds.
Chevys, except for like the Tahoes, and Chevy and Ford. I'm sorry, they stink. They stink. And when you do the research, they last 10 years. The Toyotas and the Hondas last 20 years. I mean, it's just, and the Subarus, you just get so much more out of them. This right here is a tax supposedly to allow for, better allow for American made cars, but American made cars aren't really made in America. So will cars cost more? The tariffs include a 25% levy on imported vehicles and auto parts under Section 232, plus a 10% universal tariff on nearly all imports. Additional 25% tariffs apply to non-USMCA compliant goods from Canada and Mexico, key sources for auto parts and vehicles. This affects both imported cars, Toyota and Honda, and domestic brands, Ford and GM, that rely on imported components. Estimates low-end American cars could rise $2,500 to $5,000, while imported models could increase by $20,000. For example, a $30,000 sedan would jump to $3,200 to $35,000. And then I said, well, what about Toyotas? What is that going to look like? That's going to raise about $3,000. A Toyota Tacoma could increase by $7,500 to $12,000. Now I want you to think about that. That Trump is going to go rah, rah, rah. Look how much money are in our coffers. But you want to go buy one of the best, longest lasting vehicles that you can buy in the United States, which is a Toyota Tacoma. Okay. Those puppies they're the longest lasting vehicle. Like you look on Consumer Reports and everything. Those are the puppies that are going to last you the longest. Okay. So not only are they going to tax the one or two vehicle manufacturers that are making cars that will last a long time, right? What they're going to do is then, okay, well, maybe I could have afforded maybe I could have got a Toyota before. Maybe I could have bought a Honda before. So, but now I'm going to have to go get this Chevy. And instead I'm going to, a Chevy Equinox or a Chevy whatever they've got going on right now. I want to put this in real terms for you guys. All right. God forbid you buy a Kia, right?
Oh.
All right. So,
hating on anybody out there. There's got to be a ton of Resistance Chicks viewers that own them because they're everywhere on the road.
Right.
So we don't want to go hating on Kia owners.
No, I'm not hating on the owners, but I'm saying components break. So
yeah, they do.
Having older vehicles, struts go out, sway bars go out, sway bars and links go out. But when you hear from like the Toyota Highlander owners, they're like, never had anything go wrong. You know what I mean? Like those components don't go out, right? But if you look at like some of the Chevys, even the Cadillacs and things like that.
So essentially what you're getting at is you pay for it over time.
You're going to pay so much. So you're going to pay so much more over time. And so that the tax on Americans, and Trump is going to be like, yo, look at it. We're going to pay down the debt. And it's like, wait a minute. So what you're saying is that if Trump had knocked on your door and said, Michelle, we're going to pay down this debt. Give me $7,500.
Right.
You would have people in arms in the streets.
Sure.
Instead, he's saying, you know what? You Toyota owners who are the smartest people on the planet when it comes to buying cars, okay? Or your richer cousins, the Lexus people. I've spent way too much time researching quality cars. Lexuses are the fancy Toyotas. Okay. But anyways, your richer cousins over there, you guys, you're going to pay me the tax. Okay? Yeah. And then he's going to go on television and say, we're paying down the debt. No, you shook down the smart people in America. You shook down the ones who actually could afford
you're talking
buy
specifically
things.
just about Toyotas, but the shakedown
applies
is on
to
all everybody.
The things.
And so
I felt like cars were a more substantial understanding, because you're not going to understand it with Italian spaghetti, but you're going to understand it.
You're going to understand it with a lot of things, I think.
But those are the decisions. Not to interrupt, but the last thing I'll say. Those are decisions that people are going to make differently. They might still buy the Italian pasta because it's only 15,
right,
20%.
But they're going to buy the American car that's going to fall apart. 100%. So when I'm looking at this and you see, I don't know if you guys noticed when that young man did the video and he said that the U.S. Treasury has gone up by like whatever, right? Because of these tariffs. And what it does in that moment, it goes, well, if it's coming in that high, then maybe it's not that big of a deal. Because what they have you believing is that those figures are coming from people outside of the U.S. when technically the money is going from your hand to their hand and then back into the U.S. Treasury. But it was yours to start with. It's not coming from their hand. They aren't eating it. They are not eating this money. We are. The American people are. And so when Trump comes out and says, look at how much the U.S. Treasury is pulling in, it's you and me. It's on the backs of Americans that are buying the imported goods.
Toyota had a $1.3 billion profit hit from tariffs between April and May.
All right, so
but here that I want you guys to understand something. That right there, Toyota right now said that they're absorbing some costs and that they might try to reduce fixed costs. Do you know what that means? They're going to make cheaper vehicles.
Yeah,
they're not going to be as quality. These tariffs are going to cost you. You know what? They don't want to make those. I think they pride themselves on making great vehicles. Okay, and I know this isn't a show on vehicles, but I think that if you focus on something, if you unpack the one thing you can understand, this is what has happened, like with Nike or all these other great brands that were good quality. You know, when we were kids, or maybe even before that. I have to do something. I have to pass this on. If they could have reduced costs, they hire people and pay them lots of money to reduce costs. They would have reduced costs. Okay. Now it's not going to be as good. Okay.
But they can ride for a while, for at least 10 years, they can ride on the backs of the fact that people trust their products.
Yeah.
Until it starts to fall apart. So, over on Rumble, Warrior Edge of Time says, business plans remain consistent. The consumer pays the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Putnam says, there is no other market to replace the U.S. Barry says, why would I buy American beef when I can go to my next door neighbor's farm and buy locally grown grass-fed beef, lamb, pork, chicken, etc.? Well said. No offense to America. Wicked Psych says, the Amish will need to amp up their production. They make the best anyway. Okay, I love that. Yes.
Come on.
Dr. Putnam says the U.S. was paying high prices to export our goods, so companies move to other countries so they would not have to pay. We didn't charge high tariffs on goods coming in so Americans could get cheap stuff. Trump is trying to flip that. I agree that that's what he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, the infrastructure isn't there. So we don't have quality cars manufacturers. We just don't. Really, we don't. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff coming in. How long is Trump going to be president? is this just a bait and switch? Because if this was a long-term deal, okay, and you're saying we want to produce better things in the United States and produce things in the United States, you have to have a bipartisan outlook on this for 10, 15 years so that then people are, quote unquote, so that U.S. citizens are making goods. Unfortunately, one of the other things is Trump is demanding that somehow Europe businesses invest in the United States businesses. I don't need them to. I don't want them to. Why should you?
Yeah.
It is a very strange situation. You guys have to understand. I'm going to play this clip here.
I'm going to finish some comments.
Finish the comments.
Stuart the Brit says, not Kia, American Toyota dealers have a terrible attitude towards their customers, so buy a few years old out of the dealer anyway, out of the dealer warranty. And Gina says, I have a great running, zero problem, great on fuel, 2000 Ford F-350. That's awesome. The bigger trucks.
You got the big giant
those
truck.
big trucks actually do outperform. People aren't usually going to buy. We're talking about like the Ford cars.
You have an F-350.
F-350 trucks. They are the trucks. I will say the big trucks that the GM makes and Dodge. Those are
the Silverado, the Chevy Silverado
to do well. So that's awesome, Gina. Stuart the Brit says, I've been a mechanic for 30 years. I would not buy any vehicle newer than 2014. Gina says, I agree, but low miles and great maintenance, they are out there. I have several. Alice says, Toyota has engineering and manufacturing plants in the United States, but don't they still have to pay tariffs on that?
What?
If the manufacturing is here, they don't have to pay tariffs?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, that's helpful. Thank you for that. Over on Getter, hey, Getter. Ursula is definitely the secret member of Cranky Goes to Hollywood. And then they say, because we are making cheap oil. Let me check over here on the, let's see if this didn't actually come up. Oh, it didn't. I don't know why.
But remember, guys, we were pro-tariff. And now that I'm looking and seeing it break down and I'm seeing how much things are going to cost for people, this is not a good thing. I don't want to be Chicken Little, but the sky is falling.
Yeah. Okay. Over on Instagram, the Borg's Work says, we are seeing a big increase in lumber and cabinet hardware, which raises our prices, and the cycle of unaffordability continues. This is why many contractors use illegal labor and outbid people. Mm-hmm. Earlier, she says, the same Boeing that stranded 2 astronauts and have planes falling apart. Interesting. Britt says, our old Sequoia has been the most solid car for our family of 7. I knew that there was going to be a lot of comments from you guys on those Toyotas because I know that a lot of you guys have them and really, really like them and do well with them. Sherry says, that's why so many do leases. They want new vehicles every couple of years so that they don't care about quality. I would rather own a vehicle and not have a payment. Barry says, Michelle and Leah, if you buy a Ford, buy a European Ford diesel engine. They are fitted with Pueyo diesel engines and Volvo running gear and suspension. My Ford Mondeo has done nearly 250,000 miles and is still going strong. I don't think
you're going to get a Ford with a European diesel engine.
See, you know what's so funny is that
there's no Ford Mondeo here.
The idea, Barry, of saying like, get this. A lot of people have said, if you can get a Subaru that's a stick shift, by all means do so. And Leah and I are sitting over here going, I would love to have any car in a stick shift. I'm buying used.
Yeah.
So I have to deal with what shows up on the market at the time. I can't just go pick. It's not like I'm walking to the dealer.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm walking into a clothing store and just picking out an outfit. Pick the red one instead of the pink one. Like you don't get that choice when you're buying used. You get what you get.
I don't think I've never heard of a Ford Mondego, so I don't think they sell them in the United States.
Jim says, the above clip is Ronald Reagan speaking against tariffs. I think Ronald Reagan was great, but he is part of the problem. We sold out our manufacturing base. Wicked Sykes says, my truck is 18 years old, less expensive to maintain than just the sales tax on a new one. Very, very true. I think a lot of you guys felt, and I'm glad Leah used the cars as a comparison because I think many of you feel it.
Everybody does. It's like the hardest thing in the world, to pick. It's so funny when I see people like, oh, my cars have lasted forever. I'm so glad for you. You have all these used cars that last forever. You want to sell one? Because it's hard to find a good quality car. I mean, you have to look at the year. Like there's some years that are just lemons of a really great car, right? So anyways, it's a difficult thing. If you come across a good one, then praise God.
Over on Resistance Chicks channel on YouTube, which we are back over there, not very many people have rediscovered us over there, but we are streaming live over there, so I don't want to forget those comments because I'm glad that you guys are here. Alex says the IMF World Bank practices fractional reserve banking by special drawing rights. So that's immoral. You want to go do that? I'm the only one that's asking the questions. God or Jesus wouldn't allow this to go on this planet, but the humans are why you're not talking about this. I'm so sick of this. CRAP. We're all sick of it too. JC says their plan is to data mine energy from humans to build the blockchain for digital currency. AI will earn energy from that. Jesus warned us about the beast system. It's here. As long as they could watch movies, buy what they wanted, God was no longer the center of the family or the individuals. Cars, washing machines, everything designed to break down $1 million homes are built with flimsy material.
Yes.
People are vain and no longer care about quality in their work developers, interested in bottom line cut corners. Pride is misplaced. We care more about an expensive pet than a human life. Yes, JC, we are reading this. Nobody's going to read any of this. Going back to prayer for afternoon blessings. Definitely read it. And super important comments there.
All right, let's play this clip here with Rand Paul with Russell Brand. I know how we feel about Russell Brand, but this is a great clip with Rand Paul explaining the fact that, guys, these tariffs, they're taxes, and this is a taxation. This is taxation without representation. Because we are just, it's not like we just like, oh, we want Trump to figure out how our taxes should be. That's not how that works.
Do you think that the big, beautiful act, as it is now, is what will come to define Donald Trump's presidency? Or will it be the Epstein list, which has, for me, become a kind of synecdoche now, rather than an actual list that means, are you any different from the former administration?
I think if we step back and we look at the Trump administration and Trump in history, the big debate will be over executive power. And this isn't a new debate. We had it with the kings of England. We tried to form a republic where we limited the power of the executive. But Donald Trump has grabbed up a lot of executive power and is operating through emergency. So basically, one of the big items I think he will be remembered for is tariffs. But it's not tariffs being done through Congress. It's tariffs being done by royal edict or executive edict. And these edicts really aren't passed by Congress. They're simply him taking up this power. It's working its way through our courts. And we've had one federal court already say that he can't do it. And we'll see what happens when it gets to the Supreme Court. He's using a law that was used to allow him to do sanctions on other countries. He's using it to create tariffs. But if you look at tariffs, they're simply a tax. And in our Constitution, we have a very specific rule that says taxes must originate in the House of Representatives, go to the Senate, and then come back and be passed. The tariffs are never being passed by Congress at all. He's completely done an end run around Congress. I think the debate over how much power the executive has will be what he's remembered for. He's doing it in the hiring and firing, too. So the Supreme Court and the other courts are upholding his ability to hire and fire, and I think that's a good thing. On the issue of tariffs, I think the court will ultimately rule against him. So I think the entire regime of tariffs that is out there, there's a possibility that the legal rug is torn out from under them and that there will be a legal prohibition on what he's doing. That would be extraordinary, and I don't think many people are talking about it.
So, Leah, do you think that Trump is going to come after Rand for a comment like that? Because he's essentially taking on anybody that does anything or says anything against anything that he does. Like, I'm going to bury you.
Yeah, he has come out like to bury Thomas Massie, and they say they're doing horrible over there in Kentucky. But then you guys have to understand something about Mitch McConnell here. I know this is world news, but he is in worse shape than Biden. He's not with us. He's not even really alive anymore.
And he has these episodes where he like freezes.
And so for Trump to say that Mitch McConnell, he can't put a sentence together, and he's still serving in the Senate, I don't even think he shows up. Like, he's really bad off. He's not okay. Okay. This is what I've been just mind boggling. So like what people were posting, Senator Thune runs as our Senate Majority Leader. He's the most anti-Trump, whatever guy. And he's keeping Trump from making recess appointments. But Trump is not saying that he should be primaried because Trump is beholden to the deep state. So he can rail against Thomas Massie, because Thomas Massie isn't owned by anybody. He doesn't fund anybody. He doesn't have any big PACs behind him. He doesn't have any big donors behind him. He doesn't have Israel behind him. And so they need to kick him out because he's a free thinker, not because of, I was arguing today with somebody, Sean Farah, who was like the Trump impersonator. I want to write him back and be like, just please let people know that you're either being funded by the Trump administration or that you've recognized that being a Trump patsy on all things is financially expedient to you, because it's not financially. I don't have anybody behind me, and I'm glad I don't, because at one time we were over on Brighteon and we couldn't say things like, "Hey, Mike Adams," or we could and we would, but it would be uncomfortable to say things like Mike Adams has gone off the rails on Bible stuff, and he's going against Paul, and it's not right, and he needs to stop, and he's gone a little weird on.
Here's the thing.
The Jews. So
I want to be clear on something when it comes to Mike, though. We don't listen to Mike anymore.
Right.
And I've seen Mike, and I hate to say that, I love him, by the way. He goes and he gets really, really excited about a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he moves on to the next thing and he gets really, really excited about that thing. And then, who does that sound like? But my point is, when he was calling out Paul and doing that whole thing, that was like 6 or 7 months ago. Maybe he's changed since then. We don't know. Like, I don't know is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, we did call it out on our program because we had to. We're like, dude, Mike, you're throwing Paul under the bus. He was throwing kind of the New Testament
but it's
under
not
the bus.
like, but if we're going live on Fridays and Brighteon, that's going to be a hard thing to do.
100%.
So I'm just being straight up honest with you guys.
Right.
That's a little thing. We didn't really get, we were on that channel then, right? And so it's a very difficult thing to do. So you just need like some sort of thing. Like, this is a promotion. Like, this is a paid promotion.
Well, not so much a paid promotion, but like you said, I don't know how you would be able to quantify.
No, it's a pay. Like, I am financially motivated by supporting Trump in all things. Not,
Right.
I don't think just clearly. I have financial backers behind me somewhere.
Dr. Pudim says Massey is what a real true congressman is to be. Wicked Sykes says I really like Massey too.
Yeah, and so for us to throw him out against the bus doesn't make sense. But there's the same line that they keep saying, and it happened to me today, where
the Borg Works also says that their 2004 Ford Expedition is 160,000 miles and still strong and has survived our 6 kids. So maybe not.
Did you say 2004?
Yeah. Ford Expedition.
2004.
Yeah.
So 2004.
The older
you got a
vehicles.
2004.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that there too.
So it's not. So there. We're not throwing all American vehicles under the bus. Don't get everybody
No,
get
put
upset.
in your outliers in the deal.
We would love to hear from that.
I had
We're trying
a
to figure it out.
1998 Buick LeSabre that my grandma had, and we bought it. We bought it, and it was the most god awful vehicle on the face of the planet.
We probably put minimum over the what? How many years did we have that car? 10.
No, not even that. She died in 2008. We had it through,
and then we sold it when?
Yeah. Maybe we had it 10. Okay.
Yeah, like 10. Anyway, I know we put 20 grand in that car.
Yes.
Fixing it. Easy. Over the time that we had it. Literally.
We had 2 engines go out.
I was always
everything
paying
was
$1,600,
$2,000,
$1,600,
end suspension,
$2,000.
Everything died. And the transmission went out. It
Right.
was just, oh my gosh. And it was nice inside because my grandma didn't go anywhere, and it had super low mileage. So we just kept saying, well, we'll just put another 1,000 in it. We'll just put another 1,000 in it.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was a nightmare. So we're talking about Thomas Massey, and this Sean Farash says Senate Majority Leader John Thune is blocking Trump from making any recess appointments while the Senate is on their month-long August recess by holding pro forma sessions every few days. The Democrats and the GOP are now obstructing Trump's nominees being confirmed. I said, isn't it amazing that Thomas Massey was the first to call this out, and he is the one the right are going after like lemmings, when in reality all Massey did was stand on fiscal principle like I would have done, and he is fighting for Trump to make these recess appointments. Where are the tweets from Trump calling for Thune to step down and be primaried? Trump can't go after Thune. The Republicans picked a fall guy, so the little Magadonians would point to Thune, who is definitely working for other interests than MAGA, rather than see Trump's weakness when going against real power and the establishment. You see this with Trump caving to Lindsey and Turtle Man, who is in worse shape than Biden was, and no Republicans are calling for Mitch to step down. His only response, Sean's, was, He didn't stand on fiscal principle. He actually lied to you. He was the deciding vote in May of 2023 that allowed the debt ceiling under Biden to be suspended. This added $3 trillion to the national debt. I bet you didn't know this. I said, Sean, come on, you're better than this. Massey had never voted to raise the debt ceiling before that vote. We all remember the shenanigans that went around. This is silly. There was no deciding vote other than other people voted too. To say that Thomas Massey, it all came down to you, and they came and said, Thomas Massey, there's one vote left. You need to vote with us. No, it actually, what he's talking about is that was to get it out of committee, and he wasn't the deciding vote. Other people voted too. It wasn't 1-2. It wasn't 1-1. Okay. Why are you blaming anybody else? He tried to make a deal with McCarthy that would actually keep the government funded and guaranteed reduced spending. This isn't just a mischaracterization. Sorry, miscarriage. Oops. And this is plain lies. I covered it all the time ad nauseum. There were all kinds of House wranglings. McCarthy was trying to wheel and deal. And what I said was the final House vote on that, if anybody ever wants to know, was 314 to 117. And the messaging coming out of the Trump camp is Thomas Massey was the deciding vote. But he was a extra vote to get it out of committee. But the final vote was bipartisan, 314 to 117. You guys remember when they were doing all that stuff? The Fiscal Responsibility Act suspended the debt ceiling until January 2025, allowing the government to borrow as needed to meet existing obligations without a fixed increase. No specific $3 trillion was tied to that. So this is what is coming out of the Trump sycophant camp. You're not going to get Trump sycophants here because I'm not paid to do it. And I have this number in my head. Donald Trump votes conservative 43% of the time. That means 67% of the time he's voting against me. Now, if Trump does something 43% of the time that's positive and what I would do because he's there to represent me, then I will praise him. The problem is that right now he's doing things that do not represent me. However,
I don't think we're ever going to praise Trump at this point. We used to. We would praise the thing.
Right. That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. We're going to get to the Canadian and let's get to the Brazilian tariff here. This one, I kind of feel laughing at, and it's not so bad. I actually kind of think that this one's okay for a minute, just for a minute. So on Friday, Trump imposed the unprecedented, whopping 15% tariffs on all products imported into the U.S. from Brazil. Now, Brazil has this gag order on Bolsonaro. He can't even talk on social media. So that's what this is about. It's about using a tax to help your political friend, which I don't think you can use. I don't think you're supposed to use, and I don't think it's constitutional. But it's kind of funny. So I don't know. Including nearly 1/3 of all coffee Americans consume daily. This is despite the U.S. having maintained a trade surplus with Brazil, amounting to hundreds of billions of dollars over the past decade. And it's all tied to the political firestorm of ex-leader Bolsonaro's trial and Trump's effort to defend his friend known as the Brazilian Donald Trump. So this 50% tariff on selected Brazilian imports is the highest rate currently applied on any nation across the world. And with a tiny Switzerland coming in second, having been shocked by its 39% tariff rate, which are the highest tariffs in Europe. On Switzerland, the BBC writes, it's the one story dominating the news and the airways on Friday. One newspaper, Blick, described it as the country's biggest defeat since French victory in the Battle of Montenegro. Wait a minute. Marignano in 1515. Wow. Okay, that's a. Did people die there? Because are people
Just
dying
say in
now?
400 years, man.
Okay, but on the Brazil front, President Lula has slammed Trump's tariffs as blatant political interference and says the government is preparing to respond. We've always been open for dialogue, he wrote on X, Twitter. We are working now to respond to the U.S. tariff measures. Only citizens and institutions of Brazil have the right to determine the country's path, including the relations with the United States. The U.S. has included some exemptions. So soften the blow by excluding sectors such as aircraft, energy, and orange juice.
Gotta have your orange juice, I guess.
Aircraft, energy, and orange juice. Trump announced the tariffs, some of the steepest levied on any economy in the U.S. trade war, as his administration also unveiled sanctions on the Brazilian Supreme Court justice who has been overseeing it, Voldemort there.
So if you're looking at the graph here, these are the top 20 Brazilian exports that actually come into the U.S. In the green, those are the ones that are exempted from the 50% tariffs, and the orange are the ones that are affected. So the ones that are exempt: crude oil, refined oil, semi-finished iron and steel, wood pulp, pig iron, fruit and nut juices, petroleum, coke and residues, alloy steel, aluminum oxide, building stone. So the ones that are affected are coffee, construction machinery, frozen beef, sugar, electrical transporters, wood continuously shaped, I don't know what that is, engine parts, preserved meats, and tractors.
It feels like a lot of the non-affected ones are for big business, and the little ones are just to affect us.
Yeah.
As that seems pretty one-sided.
It definitely does.
Yeah. Okay, so Canada's not so happy.
With the tariffs?
No.
Yeah, they've been complaining about this for a while. Even the conservatives are angry.
No, the Canada.
Like Pierre Poilievre?
Well, yeah, Canadians.
Poilievre.
Yeah, but I want to play this here. This is over here. Mark Carney, he won prime minister there in Canada. They did not get Pierre Poilievre. He promised to stand up to Trump and secure the Canadian best trade deal. I guess this was. And go ahead and play this.
Doesn't have any volume.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
I guess it doesn't. That one doesn't have
They're
volume.
just laughing.
All right. Where is my next one on Canada here? I think it's over here. Let's watch this one. This is breaking down no deal for Canada.
Take it not so much or not so good.
Well, imagine like the president truthed out that the Canadians put out, oh, we're going to recognize the Palestinian state. I mean, come on, don't be so tone deaf, right? The president is totally into trying to get peace in Gaza, and you're throwing your hat in the ring from Canada. Come on. You know, they still haven't solved dairy. They still have 2 countries on the whole world retaliated against the United States of America tariffs. China, which we all know, and Canada. So, you know what? I just don't see the president stepping off the gas. Now, Mark Carney came down, had a really nice lunch with the president when he first got elected. You know, if he makes that call and if he starts turning on the charm and if he takes off his retaliation, and stops the silliness, maybe the president will let it down a bit. But right now, 35%, that letter he sent, is surely in the cards.
So, Leah, what do you think this is going to do for the average Canadian?
That's a good question. I think that they're holding out for sure. And I don't know exactly what we're bringing. I know that they have their own different way of looking at life over there in Canada, where they are very protectionist. And so it looks like the imported U.S. goods, Canadians' retaliatory tariffs, they have 25% on 30 billion of U.S. goods, potentially expanding to 155 billion. Target items like whiskey, household appliances, sporting gear, and energy products. This increases prices for popular U.S.-made goods. So the Canadians will have to spend more for Jack Daniels.
That's funny. So I've pulled up here Canada exports to the United States.
So U.S.-made appliances like refrigerators are going to cost more, and clothing brands.
Wait, I went from the U.S. That's what I want. I went from the U.S. to Canada.
Yeah, so brands like Patagonia or Nike, if sourced from the U.S., could become pricier. U.S. tariffs disrupt integrated supply chains, raising costs for imported produce like avocados, tomatoes from the Mexican face of the U.S. tariffs, affecting Canadian prices, and processed food. For example, a 3.4% short-term increase in food prices is estimated. So a $100 grocery bill is only, $100, $103.
You know what I'm finding interesting? Because I was looking at these two comparisons.
But the energy here, the Canadians' reliance on U.S. energy imports like refined oil. Okay, I think we send oil down there, they refine it, it goes back in. U.S. tariffs on Canadian crude could raise gas prices, potentially costing $5 to $10 on a $50 fill up. That actually does add up, and it's really not comfortable. It looks like Ontario's auto sector, which employs thousands, faces 25% tariffs. That could reduce hours. That could lead to layoffs. Lumber and steel and aluminum. British Columbia's lumber industry and Ontario's metal sector face 35% to 50% tariffs, risking job losses in these regions and a higher cost of income possibly there. And so it looks like in July 2025 Bank of Canada survey found 55% of Canadians are cutting back on U.S. travel and purchases, with 33% shifting to domestic travel. For example, a family might skip a trip to Buffalo instead of going to Florida. So you're going to spend more on groceries, more on car purchases, more for coffee, more for household goods. So it's a strain on on Canadians for sure.
So what I wanted to show you guys is something I just found just very interesting. And somebody can maybe tell me what the significance of this is. But Canadian exports to the United States and the United States top exports to Canada are the same things. So I just found that really interesting, that the types of things that they're like top exports to us and our top exports to them are the same things. So
why not
wood, electrical, aluminum, pearls, pharmaceutical, vehicles, mineral fuels, machinery, plastics, like all of their top ones are the same as our same top ones.
So maybe we should just be one country because we're kind of the same landmass, which is why we have all the same resources.
You know,
I just say we're kind of the same kind of people.
I just find it really interesting.
Canadians
Like, here
and
we're
Americans,
fighting over tariffs, and I'm going like, but we make the same stuff.
Canadians and Americans, does it feel a little bit more like just another state? Just like bigger? Like we speak the same language. We have the same kind of history. You guys have that French thing going on. Some of you speak French over there, but basically we're the same people.
All right.
Like seriously,
Barry says, Michelle, make sure you stay away from Mitsubishis. They are horrendously expensive on parts, as is any Japanese car, but the Mitsubishis are the worst. Let's see. 7 Ann says, Trump messed over Canada when he backed the criminal Carney. I am still angry at Trump for doing so.
Yeah, Pierre Poilievre was our buddy, and honestly, it was on the tariffs that Carney is worse on than Poilievre would have been.
Wow. So Chris says, I ran into a retired couple in the Hocking Hills area who told me how they had to throw all of their food from their camper into the garbage just to be allowed to cross the big, beautiful border 2 hours north. The couple said that all the food is already expensive in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird. Like, what?
You can't bring things in. Yeah.
Yeah. Over on, let's see. See over here.
Well, speaking of Brazil, as you bring up those,
Gina says we need big beef tariffs. I couldn't agree with you more. I could not agree with you.
We should not be importing any beef.
Yeah,
we are known for being cowboys.
Yeah,
that's what we're known for.
Right.
No beef comes in here.
No beef.
No beef.
No beef.
No beef. I got a beef with the beef. So speaking of a beef. There were huge protests this week, starting in 62 cities in Brazil. Right now, against President Lula and the Supreme Court Justice Moraes. Could this lead to some sort of populist uprising that would make a difference? Michelle, it's to the left.
Got it. I see it.
Yeah. They've had enough, and I think these tariffs are really going to,
Again, with the fact that these South and Central Americans, y'all can get together. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like the numbers, how do you even get there?
Mm-hmm.
How do you even get there?
Let's scroll down on the same tweet.
Okay. Look at all these people. I don't want it to blare at you guys, so hang on. Look at this. I want to let this play twice. So I want to make it big. This is amazing. I would love to see stuff like this happen in the United States, but unfortunately, when it happens here, bad things happen.
62 cities, millions in the street.
It's amazing.
A CNN won't show you. When the right-wing populist protests, it's a fascist insurrection. When the left, it's democracy.
Yeah, that's
Brazil is heating up. So, my prayers are for you guys. I hope that you make a difference there. Speaking of protests.
That's for later.
There were big protests in Manchester this week in the UK, and I've got some. Michelle, I've got a video here.
We don't need till Tuesday. Don't forget to come and join us on Tuesday. You're not going to want to miss that.
So,
all right, TikTok. You got a TikTok up here?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's weird. Lee and I don't do TikTok. Please don't ever send me a TikTok link. Find it somewhere else if you're going to send it to me.
Because I don't have TikTok, I can't open up usually and watch it on my phone.
I can't, and you can't get volume on TikTok. It's so weird. So sorry that there's no volume. If you don't have a TikTok account, it's very frustrating. But this is a lot of people, and you have another video of this protest.
I do. Barry sent me a ton.
I want to hear from you guys, and I'll try to get to all the platforms. We're streaming to 7 platforms right now. On all the comments. I know that sometimes you guys get offended because I'll miss one, and I'm so sorry. I'm going to leave. No one ever reads my comments over here. I'm trying to keep track of comments from 7 different places. But I would like to know if you guys live in a place where you have these regular protests. This is amazing to me. And how did y'all get this many flags? There's the St. George flag there, which I love. That's awesome. That's one of those flags you're not supposed to fly, I guess. Yeah. We have one here. So you guys sent us one years ago.
All right. Oh, there we are. When we refresh this page, I got a couple more up here. For some reason, I didn't have that one up. Yeah. So you guys, this is a march against the mass immigration.
This is the big one. Look at how big this is. It's so many people. Oh my gosh.
Of course, there were counter protesters.
Not that many.
And it turned into pro-Palestinians, but it's just pro-Palestine, which is so weird. Here you guys are making a statement.
Yeah.
You're saying, I want my country back.
Right.
Immigrants are coming over. I've got a video here with Nigel Farage that 900 illegals crossed the English Channel in one day.
Did you explain to them while I was looking for comments what this protest is about?
That's what I'm telling you about.
Okay,
that's what I'm telling you right now. They want their country back. 900 illegals crossed the English Channel in one day. Those illegals are being put to the front of the queue for housing. They get in nice houses they go in homes, they get in hotels, they get tons of food, they get a stipend. They go to the front of the line for the doctor, for the dentist, for everything, and it's just mind-boggling. And you guys are it's such a strain on your public health sector. It's such a strain on public housing, and Nigel Farage has an artitle. You want to hear him?
Well, I don't know how loud it is in their ears.
So I can't hear it at all.
Okay, I can turn you up. Is that better?
Yeah, I think it's a nice background.
No, it is, but sometimes I'm afraid that they're not going to hear you talking at all, and I want them to be able to hear you.
I can barely hear it even. I'm late.
Okay.
I hear myself more than that.
Okay. Well, you guys can let me know in the chat. On the audio. So they have a lot of megaphones. I'm so proud of these people. And look how peaceful they are. For the podcast listeners who will listen to this back later, they have more flags than I've ever seen them have. And it just looks so happy. They look so happy. And I want to know, how they organize. How did they organize enough to know, hey, bring your flag on a pole? Because they don't usually have the flags on the pole like that. That just looks amazing. So, Leah, do you have a kerfuffle over there?
No, it's just this one. You can scroll down here. There's another one.
This is another angle?
I guess so, yeah.
No, that one doesn't have any volume.
It's grainy. Then you go down.
Okay.
Refresh this page. This poor guy was not allowed to fly his, you can turn me down a little bit. His,
like a drone
the
or
England
what?
flag.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if it's just because he had a flag or if it was the English flag.
Flying the flag of England in England.
Well, that's the St. George flag, so I don't know why everybody else is allowed to fly them. So.
But the Palestinian
flag
is
close. I get it. So he's getting too close.
Oh.
He's getting too close.
He's provoking hatred.
Yes. Exactly. I think that. So it's not that he wasn't allowed to fly the flag. It's just they didn't want him to fly it that close, in case something were to.
Okay, I got one more. You can see. I got a couple more.
Refresh again.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like it's an overall peaceful protest. Mm-hmm. No.
It seemed pretty peaceful. Yeah. So they're fiercely chanting re-immigration. The British people are...
I think it's remigration,
Remigration,
right?
remigration.
Yeah, remigration, meaning you need to migrate back where you came from. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Now they're shouting for Tommy Robinson, which that's
Hopefully,
a difficult
we
thing.
need another slogan.
We do need another slogan besides
Tommy
Hey,
has
Tommy.
meant something to them.
Yes.
Almost like MAGA has meant something.
Right. Well, I don't know why it's kind of freezing up. I don't know.
We're having some issues
Yeah,
here.
Twitter's having some issues today.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So a lot of this has to do with Nigel Farage tweeted this out. 2 Afghan asylum seekers have been charged over the alleged rape of a 12-year-old girl, which has left a small Midlands town reeling in shock. The Daily Mail actually today had said. Ahmad Malak something, 23, was charged for rape of an underage girl, and another guy, 23, in aiding and abetting and strangulation and kidnapped.
Oh my God.
She is now receiving special care. Despite the huge interest the incident has caused in the small town of Nuneaton, sources have told the Mail on Sunday that Warwickshire police advised local councillors and officials not to reveal the asylum seeker background or of the 2 suspects for fear of inflaming community tensions. One local who contacted us, accused the police of a cover-up in an effort to suppress information which the public have a right to know. He said the police feared Nuneaton would face similar violent protests that took place outside the Migrant Hotel in Epping, Essex last month. And that is just really, really, really sad. So this small town in England, Warwickshire police said the one was arrested 4 days after the incident last Saturday, charged the following day, and he has been in court. And so let's go over here to, let's see, protect our kids. There was a protest there. Warwickshire police said in a statement, at this stage, we do not believe there is anyone else involved to come forward. Let's see, inquiries by the MOS in Nuneaton revealed that these 2 young men lived in 2 taxpayer-funded rented houses.
Of course they did. They were there on your dime, assaulting your people.
70 yards from each other on adjoining streets. Both properties are managed by Serco, which has accommodated about 5 asylum seekers in each house. Serco has a $1.9 billion contract with the Home Office to house asylum seekers across the country. When MOS contacted the owner of the property the one man lived in, she said she was sickened to the stomach upon hearing about the incident. She said, I don't know anything because Serco managed the house completely. When we asked Serco if they were aware of these 2, the company sent a statement, we do not confirm individual addresses.
Wow.
Goran Muhammad Ali, 27, an Iraqi Kurd who lives in the same house as Kabar, said, I have not seen Kabar for a few days. The police have come around the house. Kabar came to this country to work.
Oh, of course he did.
Ali added that all residents in the house get their bills paid by Serco and are given $50 per week as spending money. Last night, the councillors from the Tory party, as well as the Labour Reform, who controls Warwickshire County Council, said they do not know much about the incident. They blamed the police for not sharing too much information. Last night, Nigel Farage said, which runs Warwickshire County Council, said, I am afraid police and elected officials are acting against the British people. This is really so repulsive and so disgusting and so just horrid because, and you can play this video of these migrants just coming off of these border boats. They're being bussed in. They're being housed. These are just young men. These are not asylums. These are not people in Ukraine or in war-torn countries.
Where if they're asylum seekers, where are the kids? Where are the babies?
Young, like, what is it? Why are you bringing in all of these young men? Why are you bringing them in? And why are they getting all of their bills paid? They're getting a house. They're getting food. They're getting their cell phone. Everything they need is paid for. And then on top of that, they get an extra $50 a week.
Twitter is really struggling for me today. I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry, guys. But you can see this. I mean, the scene and the picture are just about the same, give or take. I mean, it's just...
Well, I don't know if this has anything to do with Ursula von der Leyen's rolling out this digital ID, CBDCs, and a cashless society. Now, remember, Trump is actually a part of this. So, Laura Ingraham, when are you going to call them out? The Europe is saying it boldly while Trump is saying it stealthily, but it's the same style, so Chinese-style social credit system. They're going to roll it out there boldly, and then it will creep into our area.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, perhaps the most prominent advocate of that dreaded COVID passport, was out there advocating that we all have to have digital IDs because the future will be digital. You shouldn't have privacy. Apparently. Yeah, that's what she believes. She claims that the IDs can be a real booster to emerging economies. The trick is to build public digital infrastructure, she said, that is interoperable, open to all, and trusted. Joining me now to explain just how dangerous this is, Nigel Farage, former Brexit Party leader. Nigel, this is about global government control and a way to, what, redistribute the wealth away from the so-called wealthy nations to everybody else?
Well, it's about control, isn't it? I mean, this is the most glaring example we've ever seen from a prominent world leader. Von der Leyen is the president of the European Commission, 450 million people living within that union. Oh, and by the way, she's unelected, she's appointed, and here she is brazenly saying we need a digital ID card or app on our phones. Now, bear in mind, France and Germany are trialing this already. The European Union, she wants this to be enforced by the early 2030s and, may I add, backed up by a central bank digital currency, living in a cashless society. And now she wants the whole thing to go global. Can you imagine? On this ID card will be not just your date of birth, your gender, your eye color, your height, your approximate weight. There will be your vaccine status, your financial status, and goodness knows what else will be on that card. Can you imagine this data falling into the hands of bad actors? And if you think about it, I speak as somebody who's recently been debanked as a result of his political opinions. And this is happening in America too, as you well know, to lots of people. If we're not careful, we head towards a Chinese-style social credit system where unless you go along with the views of the day, you become a non-person. I cannot think of a more dangerous initiative than this. The problem we've got is we have to ask a question whether our leaders actually believe in our nation, because they're prepared to surrender sovereignty to the World Health Organization, the United Nations, the EU, and goodness knows what comes after that. And the truth of it is, the world will be a better, more prosperous, peaceful place if democratic nation states cooperate and trade together, not give away their powers to unelected bureaucrats. And that was the Brexit message all those years ago. I now think what our little island did becomes a stronger message for the world, and in particular, after what von der Leyen said. We simply have to say, no, we believe in liberty, we believe in freedom, we believe in the nation state.
Guys, it's all about convenience. They sell it to you for convenience. And we try to push back, but we don't push back hard enough. I look at the way that society functions and you say, Michelle, you can't stop progress. They said the exact same thing about the trains when they were going across the Midwest and they were using eminent domain and worse type of terror to steal land from people because you can't stop the trains. Then they did the exact same thing when they started doing interstates, the exact same thing. Like they come in and they say, this is progress. You are in the way. We will bulldoze you. Forget it. And so I know that I seem like a Luddite. I know that I seem like I am, here we are using technology and I'm the one that handles all of the technology that we do to even stream to you guys. We do this because I feel like we're going into the matrix because we want to be out of the matrix. But little by little, they start to take everything away from you. Do you remember when we were, kids and the nurse would come in with a clipboard and your files? Yeah. And now everything is digitized. Now, I'm not, Michelle, you really sound extreme if you're against that sort of thing. What I'm getting at is they have gotten us to the point where they want you to use a cell phone for everything. We bought a television for my uncle a couple of weeks ago. And just to even set it up, I had to use like a QR code from a cell phone. What if you bought a TV and you don't have a cell phone? Like, how are you supposed to set up this TV? Everything that they're doing is taking us inch by inch and little by little into a digital age where they will do exactly what China is doing. And this was floated to me in conversations by, people that would stop by my house and just different, strangers not in my friend circle, an idea of how it wouldn't be that bad to have incentives or disincentivize people based on the quality of their health for like health insurance companies, right? Where your premium goes lower if you're, less healthy. Okay, well, that's fine. I guess I could kind of follow you there. But then the next step goes to, well, I think that this should be government controlled. I think this should be government monitored. Well, I think that you shouldn't be, allowed to eat this. And they need to make these types of products. There should be a sin tax on Doritos and all of these things. And so the next thing you know, you are at China's social credit score, where the Chinese culture thrives and is, I don't know what the right word is, but it moves in a way that we do not, but we will get there if we continue down this path where shaming is a big deal. So if you do something wrong in China, you have to literally go out and you're like, get recorded and your picture taken, and you have to like publicly walk back a different thing that you have said. You've got the social credit score. If you've done something, then you can't buy a thing. You can't get on a subway. Everything is based on a social credit score. So when we talk about a digital identification, if you never pushed back on anything digital ever, this is where you have to draw the line. Yeah. I do not want the government to have, and of course, Michelle, they already have a database on you. You already have a digital ID. Yes, I know that I do. The government, I know, has a file on Michelle Svensson. I can guarantee to you, okay? I'm not stupid. I guess stupid is something I'm going to start saying that from now on. I'm not stupid, but the idea that then that would get implemented into society where we could just go in and just, whatever, they scan a barcode and here's my ID and I don't have to have this card. And like Nigel says, who knows what else they will put on there, because if it's digital, then they can do everything. They can literally pull from anything. Well, you bought a gas guzzling car, so you actually don't get it. You used up some of your
social credit,
not your social credit, but your
I know what you're talking about.
Climate change credits. You used your climate change credits, so now you can't do this. And well, you know what? We're going to turn off your refrigerator because your air conditioner doesn't get to run this week because, like Michelle, that would never happen. I am living in a society of things that I thought would never happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't give me that. This is the line where we all need to stand shields together. Absolutely not. Say no to the digital ID. I have already said no the past 2 or 3 times that I've gone to get my driver's license to the universal ID.
Yeah.
This digital ID is the exact same thing. Just say no. I want to know what you guys think about all of this. The Borg says Alberta Prosperity Project has gathered around 240,000 signatures for a referendum on separation, with some supporters favoring U.S. statehood over Canadian Federation. That is incredibly sad. That makes me unhappy for you people. That is
Alberta
really
wants to become part of us. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's
it. I don't have a problem with it.
What kind of world? Where are we at? Like, because Canada is literally turning into a communist country. As we become a socialist country, you guys are becoming
really conservative. Like, they're hardcore. Like, I like.
They are. No, I love the
awesome.
Albertans. I would take you. But I don't want you to have to leave Canada because I think you belong there. Barry says, when the UK finally wakes up, which it is doing now, then Starmer will not know what's hit him. And the Brits have had enough now and are rising up in massive numbers now every week. The government have actually housed migrants in Aldershot, Hampshire, England, in brand new 500,000 pound houses.
Of course.
While the UK has over 100,000 homeless people on the streets in the UK. Course. Deb says, scary stuff. The data won't be safe. Well said.
That's what happened. Honestly, guys, if you're an illegal immigrant, you can get housing, you can get food, you can get shelter. But here, like, I'm in Claremont County, and there are 6 beds for homeless people, and they're all full. If you're homeless in our county, we have nothing for you.
Yeah.
But if you are a immigrant, there are endless endless, and they'll get you to the front of the queue, and they will get you an interpreter, and you'll get food stamps, and you'll get all this help because, well, you can't have a green card, so you can't work, right?
Yeah.
So there's no work requirement for all your medical stuff, and it's so disgusting. And housing has gone up by hundreds and hundreds of dollars. God forbid, like. Honestly, I don't even know what my uncle would do. Like, he gets a little stipend from Social Security. That wouldn't pay rent anywhere.
No.
Nowhere. How would he pay for food? How would he pay for all these things? Like, there's not enough. The government doesn't help you enough. And you know what's hilarious? Is that because he has people in the home who can cook meals for him, I was like, somebody said, oh, maybe you can get him some Meals on Wheels. And I was like, you know what? It'd be great if I didn't have to make sure, because he eats what he eats, and we eat.
He's very picky guy.
He's very picky guy. So I was like, you know what? Because we make, vegetables and chicken. He can't eat chicken. He does it, broccoli or anything. And so I looked into it. But you can't get Meals on Wheels unless you don't have anybody in your home that can cook for you.
You're kidding. We wouldn't take it anyway. We take care of our own. I don't want Meals on Wheels. I mean, that's ridiculous, but that is still ridiculous. Let me read a couple more comments, Leah, before we move on. James says, still too little, too late. Until the UK has millions out there protesting, the government does not take the British citizens seriously. And that's unfortunately true, but I think that their voice is making a difference. Just keep doing it. And that's what Sherry says. We have to resist together. Unfortunately, most people I know fall in line because they want the convenience and the freedom to travel. Sherry says, same here. Homeless get the shaft over the Haitians. Off and On says 2-point verification to set up online accounts. They send code by text to phone to verify identity. No way to function without Smarty Pants phone.
I hate two-step identification. Please make it stop.
And then a carbon tax. Thank you, Chris. The carbon tax is exactly where we're at. And it's unbelievable. And you're right. At some point, they wear you down. It is an abusive mafia shakedown type thing. Like, we just keep wearing you down until you finally agree that, well, I guess I'm paying the mafia the $300 a week to quote unquote protect my store from itself.
Yeah, speaking of mafia shakedown, Viktor Orban says the Visegrad 4 can block the EU budget with United Front. A lot of this has to do with the Ukraine war. Viktor Orban is a hardliner against the EU getting involved in this war, making this a world war. Thank God for some sanity here.
Viktor
Hungarian
Orban.
Prime Minister Viktor Orban has declared that a reinvigorated alliance of Central European nationalist leaders, including Morawiecki there in Poland, Slovakia's Fico, and Czech Republic's Andrej Babis, could collectively stop the European Union's next long-term budget in its tracks. In a televised interview with Polish journalist Michael Karnowski, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, Orban said that the Visegrad group, which makes up Hungary, Poland, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic, is it Czechia there? How do you say that? The Czech Republic, yeah. Has the power to block the upcoming EU financial framework if they act together. The next European budget must be approved unanimously by the EU member states. Then the four of us, as the Visegrad group, will be able to stop the crazy ideas in this project. Orban's opposition to the EU's proposed 28 to 34 budget is rooted in his fierce resistance to what he calls its Ukraine-centered focus. Nearly 1/3 of the proposed spending, he argues, would go directly to Ukraine or be used to service EU debt accumulated to support Kiev. This is insane. That's insane. That's insane. That means 1/3 of like all the taxes taken from the European people would go to Ukraine. What? And I'm going to tell you something. This is what this is. This is one of the most vile, worst. This is it is awful. These people, Ukraine is a money funneling war.
Yes.
And
you mean money laundering too? Funneling, yes, but
yeah.
It feels like it's more like
and
laundering.
So, but here's the thing: poor Europeans are footing the bill.
Yeah,
they can't afford to go give the oligarchs and the billionaires and the more money, and that's what this is about. This is not about going against Russia. It is for Russia,
yeah,
but it's not about it for Ukraine,
right?
Okay. It looks like Orban described it as not a European budget, but a Ukraine budget. and it would divert vital resources away from EU member states. He also reiterated that Hungary will not support the new EU budget unless frozen funds owed to his country are released. Those funds have been held up by Brussels over concerned about alleged rule of law violations in Hungary, which Budapest insists are fabricated because the Orban administration will not conform to Brussels' liberal agenda. Hungary will block the European Union's proposed 7-year budget unless the EU releases suspended funds. The Hungarian premier also repeated his warnings that EU efforts to bring Ukraine closer to membership could drag Central Europe into a direct conflict. If we admit Ukraine, we admit war. Okay? During the Law and Justice government there over with Poland, you achieved fantastic economic results, Poland said, or Orban said to Poland. Prime Minister Morawiecki was one of the best Polish prime ministers I've ever known, also an excellent financial expert. Therefore, the Polish government has all the tools to build the greatest era of Polish success in history. If I were Polish, thinking about the future, I would be optimistic. Poland is larger than Hungary. Its political strength during the rule of President, can't say it, and Morawiecki's government helped for a time reduce pressure from Brussels on Hungary. Orban also spoke positively about Czech politics and Babis. And I'm looking at this, and this is a big deal for Poland because Poland hates Russia. Anytime the Polish people can destroy Russians or the Russian government, not the Russians, but the Russian government, they have a huge hatred towards the Russian government, and they have a historic right to. Okay. Yeah. For them to stand with Viktor Orban on this and not go into European war with Russia is a big deal. It means that they see something here. Okay. All right. Kind of we're gonna finish our show today with two. I think this is a funny story to me. Annoyed Italian farmers are now charging tourists to access Instagram hotspots. So there are these places that Instagram has been like, oh, this is the most beautiful place in Italy. And so everybody goes there.
Oh, okay.
And so Italian farmers are like, dude, pay up.
I'm okay.
Show me the money. You want to take this beautiful picture? Give me some money for it. Let's make it happen. So in Italy's Dolomites, farmers are fighting back against the surge of social media-driven tourism by installing turnstiles.
Stop it.
I don't want a turnstile on my property, but this is weird. And charging about $6 to access scenic areas on private land.
Well, yes, it's private land. Well, hang on. Wait. Let's full stop.
The fee applies to applies to some of the most photographed spots in the Alps.
Were these people trespassing on private land to get these pictures prior to this?
Good question.
So if that's the case, then by all means block it off. But if you want to be allowed to come in, you can come and take a picture and pay. Like, why not?
Yeah, it says that so many people come through here every day. Everyone goes through our properties and they leave trash, says a former Italian national snowboarder.
So they're not just paying to make money. They're paying because they have to actually do work to clean up after these people.
The goal isn't profit, but attention. We expected a call from the provincial authorities, but nothing. We only read statements in the newspapers. Gossip, nothing concrete. We haven't received any warning letters, so we're moving forward.
What could they do? It's their property.
Italian law mandates free access to natural parks, including the Dolomites. The landowners say they haven't faced any official pushback. Photos of the long queues have spread across social media, ironically drawing even more tourists to the area.
Oh my gosh.
As Alpine Club president Carlo Zanella points, the media has been talking about the turnstiles. Everyone's been talking about it. And so everybody else goes. They're like sheep. I got to go find them. Let's go find them. Italian turnstiles. Here we go. I don't know if that's going to be on Instagram. So here we go. Italian turnstiles for view. Let's see if we find any videos on this.
No.
I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. I don't see the media
reporting. It just had pictures of long queues. It had shown up on social media.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I
know, Barry, you live in Wales, and I'm curious if you run into any of these types of things where you're at, because Wales is beautiful, by the way. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that they get the amount of
$12 on busy weekends
traffic as Italy does as far as tourism goes. The only ones who profit from war are the greedy elites. Well said.
It's a beautiful view. I mean, if you
no, it is beautiful. I did. I showed him the picture. I don't know if there's anything other than just that turnstile, but like that, it is really, really pretty there.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I take a non-commercial break?
Sure.
So, not in the live chat, but in the comment section. Let me refresh the page here. And you guys are more than welcome to leave comments in the comment section. SGTUSAF says, chicks are dumb as F, and puts the word. The Constitution covers all that they are talking about. Read it. Tariffs are in there as a means of funding the government. Taxing the people isn't. Fact, it was ruled by the Supreme Court as unconstitutional. Property tax is unconstitutional. We agree, aside from the dumb as blank part. Here's what I would say for anybody that's coming specifically from Bard's Nation that doesn't like us or whatever, and you're welcome to come here, and you're even welcome to leave contrary comments.
Try not to leave swear words.
I'm going to delete this comment because of the F word.
You can repost it.
You can repost it if you want to. I would. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do.
Try not to censor.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it as a comment. You can grab it. Boom. I've left your comment without the F word there, so you can grab it. So I'm going to delete this. You may re-leave it. There you go. I don't even care if you call us names. You can call us dumb, whatever. But we ask for people to be like respectful. This is a literal, aside from everything that we've got going on. I know we're doing our news show. Maybe we'll do a wrap up. I'm probably going to do this a little bit later. Anybody that is saying anything or questioning anything over there with their people are getting kicked out of the Telegram groups and deleted from the chats. I'm not doing that. You may come over here and you can say whatever you want as long as it is peaceful and as long as it is respectful and not using the F word and a bunch of swear words, okay? Our channel is not the same as over there. I know that everything is willy-nilly over there as far as vulgarity.
We know that Scott swears all the time, but we are a family-friendly channel.
We are a family-friendly show. So if you have a contrary opinion, by all means, you are allowed to leave it here. I'm not going to kick anybody out for their contrary opinion or because you don't like us. Like, you're allowed to stay by all means. That's not happening over there, and that's kind of sad, but whatever, to be expected. But over here, you're allowed to stay. But the F-bomb is where I have to draw the line. I have to draw the line at the F-bomb, and I would appreciate you not using swear words at all. If I feel like the swear word crosses the line, I will just take the rest of your comment. I will repost it. Mods, you can do the same thing here. I will repost your comment as whatever without the curse words, so you can grab it and repost it.
But
just
at the
please
same
be respectful.
time, we do not allow actual just trolling.
Exactly. If you're here to watch the show, watch the show. But if you're here just to be a troll, what's the point?
Yeah. We don't allow bullies here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree with the rest of your comment.
So why are we dumb? We must be pretty smart.
Exactly.
We must be pretty smart.
I get it.
Thanks for calling us smart.
Jules says you even get blocked when you comment on other non-Bards channels. She's experienced this. She got kicked out. So I was told yesterday or the day before, all the Telegram channels are gone. And I've been told that by multiple people that have felt like the Telegram channels have vanished. No, you've just been blocked.
You're just not allowed there anymore.
But what's funny is people that are there stealthily keep posting all these screenshots or keep sending me all these screenshots. I'm not asking for them. I don't like, if you want to send me screenshots, like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not soliciting these, but everybody that's there like stealthily is still sending me screenshots of what's going on over there, which actually it's not bad. They're just saying that it's a big nothing burger and to not give it any attention, which I'm fine with that. Let them say that. I didn't.
Well, they're lying, but it's okay because there's a lot of stolen money. Yeah.
Right.
All right, so I was going to end with something fun. I like when we do the European show, I want to end with something fun. Or not we call it European show. It's a world news show.
Program.
So there are other countries besides just Europe, by the way.
Amazing.
And there's a country called Japan. And I saw this week and I thought, let's share this. Inside the life of Japan's rarest job, cowgirl.
This is a Japanese cowgirl.
Hi, Tomoka desu.
And yes, Japanese cowgirls exist. And like many, I had no idea they existed and had so many questions. So I went to Japan's southern island of Kyushu to visit a ranch and speak to one in person.
Happy
to have you here.
ちょっと馬たちお水が欲しいって言ってるんで、先にお水あげます。今泣きました。あとは泣かなくても目線で訴えてきます。 この馬たちと一緒に
I work with these lovely
お仕事
horses
を
here.
させていただいてます。でこの辺
This
り
area
は
produces a lot of
大
oita,
分和牛
Wagyu beef.
の生産が盛んなので、この和牛のための
We actually grow
牧
grass
草
for
を
oita
育ててる
cows.
牧草地。
It's a big grass field.
もう少しすると
It will
ト
soon
ラク
be
ターが入っ
time for the
て
tractors to
牧
come
草
in
の収穫
and the
が
grass harvest
行
to
われ
begin.
ます。そうですね。
So
はい、
yeah,
私はカ
I
ウガ
guess I'm a
フです
Japanese cowgirl.
はい。
This feels more like a lifestyle than just work, she
ど
says.
ちらかといえばライフスタイルに近いですね。初めて乗ったのが
My first time riding a horse
もうかれこれ28
Was about
年前。
28 years ago now. She doesn't look 28.
9歳の時
I was 9 years old. No way.
はい馬に
She
乗って
looks 5.
それから
And
どっぷり
then
ハマ
I
って
was
しまいました。馬の仕事を
So
するってい
working
う
with
のが
horses
子供の時から
was my childhood
の夢
dream.
で、小学校の卒
Even
業
wrote
アル
it
バム
in
に
my
も
elementary school
将来の
yearbook.
夢で馬の仕事って書いてるんですけど、この大き
They're
な
such
動物
massive creatures.
を自
Has
分
Mom
で
seen
そ
this?
の動か
And
せ
the
たって
feeling of
い
leading
う
them
感動
left a
って
huge
いうのがやっ
impression
ぱり
on
す
me.
ごく大きくて、初めて乗った時に子供の私で
Despite
も
being just a
乗
child,
せて動いてく
The
れるん
horse
だっ
let
てい
me
うこの
ride,
子たちの優しさ
and I could feel how kind and gentle they
って
are.
いうのをすごく感じて、それがやっぱり
And they
ハマる
really
きっか
pulled me
け
into
で
this
したね
world.
まあ実際にその
But
大
as
人
I
に
grew
なっ
into an
て
adult,
はあまり
it
ちょっ
seemed
と
like
現
an
実的
unrealistic
ではな
goal.
くて、実は
So I got a job as an elderly
ずっとや
caregiver.
ってたんですけれども、まあその傍
But
ら
while doing
毎
that
週
job,
ここに
I would help
お手
out
伝い
here
になっ
every
て
week.
ここのオー
And
ナ
the
ーか
owner here
ら
offered me a full-time
一緒
job.
に仕事をやってみないかっていうことで6年
That was
経った
around 6 years ago now.
ちょっとせっかくなんで
I
コ
want
ー
to
ス
do
を
some
教える
pathway
よ
maintenance.
ちょっと降りますね。
So I'll hop off here quick.
よいしょ。こういうのは
Is that concrete out there? No.
木が危ないので。
This is a bit dangerous, she says. What is that?
That's concrete. Like you can see where they made the
ないので。
concrete. They can get stuck in their hooves. That's how they make.
Oh,
That's
okay.
concrete.
Yeah,
みんな
it
が
is.
呼んでます。
The horses are calling each other, she says. This is hilarious. I can't.
はい、こっち行こう。よし放牧でやっぱり群
How
れで
cute
生
is
活
she in
し
her
ているの
cowgirl
で、
outfit?
仲間意識が高くて。
They're all connected with each other.
They live in a
なの
herd.
でやっぱりこ
So
う
it just
一頭
goes,
だけ別にい
just
たり
goes,
する
one
と
goes
や
out
っぱり
alone. They call out, like, they all call out like that, and then they come back. They welcome each other back. Neighing to each other. The hardest part of this job is probably horses can't really talk like humans.
やっぱり
So communication can be
そこのコ
tricky.
ミュニケーションっていうのは技ですね。
It's a skill.
しっかり
We
私
really
が
have to
気
pay
づいて
attention.
あげる、しっかり様子を見て
Look and listen
何を考
carefully
えて
to
るの
try to
か
understand how they
どう
feel.
体調なんか
and make
悪く
sure
な
that
い
they're
か
not
とか
under
っていうのを
stress.
やっぱりしっかり見てあげるっていう
Just
のが
that is a full-time job.
大変なところでは
It's important and can be
あ
challenging,
りますね。でも大変
but
だ
it's
けど
also really
面
rewarding.
白い部分でもあります。すごい居眠りしてますけど大丈夫ですか？
She says he's passed out. He's just sitting there like
おい
sleeping, standing asleep.
寝てます。
He's sleeping on his
居眠
feet,
り
she
してます
says.
エルビ馬とのコミュニケーションが
How
で
long
きる
until
ま
I
で
could communicate with
どれ
them?
ぐらいの時間10年
It
ぐら
probably
い
took around 10
で
years.
すかね。今
So
おっしゃ
that
った
sound,
これは
the chick chick, this is how, can I explain it?
基本的にその前に
Basically,
進
when I
む
want the horse to go
とかこう
forward,
動かすときに
I think this is
出す合図
universal,
なん
or
で
to
すよ。
start moving, that's
で
the
も
sign.
簡単な
But
言
these horses
葉
also
っていう
understand
のをこ
simple
の子たちは
words.
理解してるので、あとはもう
Sometimes we
話
just
しかけ
speak to
て
them
と我々が
and
や
to
っぱり
read
気
them.
持ちを読み取るときはその呼吸だった
We
り
look at their breathing,
耳
their ear
の動き目
movements,
線だったり
or even
まあ
where
そう
they
い
are
うので
looking.
判
Those
断して
cues are
ま
key.
す。
So obviously the horses speak Japanese.
結構この子は
This one
い
here
ろ
is
んな
curious
もの
about
に興味津
everything.
々でねちょっかい出してきたりす
He
る。
likes to mess with me
if they're
sometimes.
painting on
私
there.
は乗馬
That must
指
be
導
fly
員
spray
です
down there.
もち
I'm
ろん
also
この
horse
乗
rider.
馬
You do
指
need
導員
to
の
be
インストラクター
Horse riding
になる
instructor.
っていうために
professionally
は
qualified.
資格もありまし
And
て、
there are tests that you
は
must
い、
pass.
技術
Both
それか
practical
ら、
and written
知識で
exams.
すね筆記試験それから面接もあ
And
ります
there's even an interview
で
exam. them.
はい、しっかり勉強をして、
It required a lot of study and
資格を
practice.
取って、でこの仕事に
But it
携わらせて
enabled me
いた
to
だい
do
て
this
ま
job.
す。別のところに行っても
When
この仕
Japanese
事
people
を
hear about my
してる
job,
っていうと、野生的だね
they
って
tell me I'm wild.
日本人にと
For
っ
most
てやっぱり
Japanese
まだその
people, Seeing horses isn't a very normal thing.
身近なものではないので、こういうところに来ないと
Without coming to a place like this, you may never see a
見る
horse.
こともないし、山の中に住んでる
So
っ
I
て
guess
いう
me
のも
living out in the
そうですし
mountains,
動物とこうやって
being around so
毎
many
日
animals,
コミュニケーション取って
communicating
一
and
緒
working
にや
with
って
them
るっていう
daily
とすごくワイルド野生
makes
だ
me
ねっ
look
て言われ
very
ます。
wild to them.
私は嬉しいで
And
す。
hearing that makes me smile.
もともとも自然が
I've always
大
loved
好きなの
nature.
で、この丘の上が
The top of
う
this
ち
hill
で
right here
のコースで一番
has
見
the
晴ら
best
し
view
のいい
out of the
丘
whole
で、
ranch.
本当だったら今日はね
Unfortunately,
霞んで
it's
るん
really
ですけど、
cloudy
本
today.
当だった
On
ら
a clear day,
熊
you can
本
see
の
Mount
阿蘇
Aso
山
over
が
there,
見えて、こっちは宮
the
崎
great
の
mountains
大
of
きな山が見えて、
Maizaki
で、
over there
こっちうっすら
also.
見
You
えて
can
ますけ
faintly
ど、
see it
こ
today.
の高原のシンボルの
That's
不
the
純
symbol of
連
this
山、
highland.
大きな山を3つ
This
見
hill
渡
sits
せ
between
る
three great
丘で
mountains.
す。私の家
My
族
family are
は
very
このライ
supportive of
フ
my
スタイルに
my
ついては
lifestyle.
すごくよく応援してくれてます。最初はちょっと
I
びっ
guess they were a
く
little
りという
surprised at
か
first,
っていう感じもあったんですけど、でもそれでも
but
ずっ
they
と
were still behind me.
本当に最初から応援してくれてます。難しいな。いいところがたくさんあ
It's
る
a
の
tough
で。
question. There's so much I love
そ
about
うで
this
す
job.
ね。私にとってはもう本当に
But if I
家
had to
族
pick
のような
one,
こ
it
の
would be
子た
getting
ち
to
と毎
spend every
日
day with
一
these
緒に過
horses
ご
that
せ
I
るこ
love.
とっていうのと、あとは
Also
やっぱ
getting to see
り
visitors'
お客様の笑顔ですね。この子たちに乗って
Getting to
自
see
然
them
を
ride the
感じ
horses in
て
nature
笑顔になって
and
くだ
getting
さ
to
るっ
see
て
their
いうの
smile
がやっぱり一番
is one of my favorite
好
things.
きな嬉しい瞬間であります。マジックを一つ
If I
使え
had
る
one
とした
magical
ら
power,
そうですね。今いる
it would
馬
be
た
to grant
ちを
eternal youth to my horses.
そう年を取らないようにしたいです。やっぱりもう
The horses and I are
今
like
いる子たちずっとね一緒にパートナーで仕事してて、本当にもう一
Each
頭
and
一
every
頭
one
み
of
んないい
them
子
are
たち
truly
で
lovely.
名馬たちばっかりなんですよ。
A true
で、
great
も
group
ちろ
of
んこれ
horses.
から
I'm
の
sure I
ね
will
新
raise
た
new
な出
horses
会い
in the
も
future too.
あるとは思うんですけど、今本当に
I
今
want to
一
live
緒に
alongside
い
my
る子た
current
ち
horses
と
forever too.
ずっと一緒に入れたらなっていう。これが一つ思いつくのが一番
I
の。
just love this. I wanted. I was like, you know what?
Leah.
World news. There is a Japanese cowgirl,
Stop it.
and I just thought that was great. When we went down to the Kentucky horse park, there was a girl who was Chinese.
Yeah.
And she lived in Canada actually, and she was in the United States for business. And she rode some horses with us on a trail ride. And it's interesting to watch Asian people ride horses because didn't the Mongolians ride horses? Like it's a thing,
Yeah.
like that area, like, but not a lot of horses on the island of
I know
Japan.
that's what I was thinking of. You know,
History of horses, I would have thought would be more
very Asian
in Asian more than the United States.
I know.
Right?
I was
Because-
literally thinking that as I was watching this, but I think that it just probably gets phased out, right? And just gets moved,
Yeah.
moved outwards.
All right.
Let me read some comments here. Barry says, this idea of turnstiles would not work in the UK. The reason being we have the Right to Roam Parliament Act in the UK. They would be torn down by the people even on private land. Michelle, in the UK, we have the right to roam laws, so no one can be stopped from walking on public footpaths, even on privately owned land. So if they stay on the footpath, that seems a little bit different, but they're leaving trash, and it sounds like they're roaming onto private properties.
Yeah.
He says, if the footpath is a known footpath, and the landowner tries to restrict access, then the landowner gets prosecuted. Let's see. Chris says, hopefully not the kind of pampered beef that was animal torture because walking would make, quote, its meat tough. That's funny. Animal torture here needs to be stopped too. Very well said. And human torture, like being followed around by drones, are worse. Amen. Let's see. Of course, horses speak body language too. Well said. Off and on says Mr. Ed would be lost talking to her because he only speaks English. That's funny. Barry says, I actually rode the largest horse in the UK a few years ago around the Lake District on a pub crawl. The thing is, I knew they weren't joking when they led the horse out from the barn. I was so big. Let's see. It was so big. It had to duck under the barn to get under the barn door. Sounds like a Clydesdale. Exactly. Let me see over here.
I do have one more video Barry saying I think he wants me to play. Speaking of walking.
Okay.
Are you done?
Yeah.
He says, would you walk this public footpath? Barry sent me this. This is a genuine public footpath, what you're talking about in the UK. It's a route up the YR how do you say that? Are
you in the right?
I just played it on YouTube, so I need to play it on
you're
Resistance
in the other YouTube.
Church.
Nope, that's the wrong one too.
Okay, we're gonna figure this out.
Ask us why we have so many YouTube accounts, because they keep deleting them.
We got our Resistance Chicks channel back, you guys. It's all our videos are gone, but we're over there, and our former 5,000 subscribers over there.
Oh wow!
So,
oh my gosh!
Is there any
no?
It's pronounced Gwyneth, North Wales.
Oh, that's not a bad thing to do.
It's called the Crib Gawks. What? It's open to anyone who wants to walk it.
Oh. This is
the thing of giving each other plenty of space. You got room to find footholds.
Camera angle is so. I'm getting like sick. I can't figure out what we're looking at here with this GoPro. Oh, whoa! I'm not going. No way. I don't need to. I don't want to. Leah, that's not safe. No.
Don't go beyond where that guy in green is. You see the gully in front of him. Don't go beyond that.
Why are there so many
Where the
people?
guy in green. Sorry, you haven't done this one? I haven't done this route before. You've done striding edge and things like that.
Is there no way around?
No, that's the point to do it.
No, they're saying this is a footpath.
No, but it's
like a path.
No.
Experience.
It's to go do the thing. No. Absolutely not.
What if you have to turn around and get past somebody? What if somebody turns around? Like you all have to turn around together, right?
Barry.
This is a one-man bridge. This is a one-man walkway. And why are there so many people there? Look at that as a kind of an elderly guy behind him.
It wasn't too bad.
We're gonna have to work on your age identification because it just offends me.
Michelle?
He has gray hair. That doesn't make him elderly.
Michelle, look at. Okay, no, stop.
That guy is not elderly.
This guy behind here, right here?
No way. I guarantee you that guy's like 63 years old.
Okay. I would not go up there. That guy's probably my mom's age or older.
That's not elderly.
Older guy, whatever. The
You
older
gotta
guy.
stop saying elderly is
Michelle.
like nursing home.
No, that's what you think. No, an older. You know, in the United States,
you age
Social
shame
Security.
on this show.
No, that's because you think elderly means something else. Social Security it starts at 65, and you get retirement
You're taking
benefit.
away from this video arguing over the fact, and I'm sorry.
He's an
but
elderly guy. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that guy's awesome. Okay, I can't believe that he's doing that. Finish the video, please.
Elderly schmelderly. I'm gonna work on you.
Well, the photo's actually not just crowded with.
It's not
We
rude.
went in the middle of the week.
I'm praising the guy.
Wasn't
He's
too
like
bad.
20 years older than the guy in front of him. Yes, that's a big deal.
Here at Resistance Chicks, we have a different opinion of what elderly is. Michelle is for you guys. You're not elderly until you're like 89.
Well, you get
in Leah's
elderly
world,
benefits
you're
at
elderly
60.
at 60.
Yeah.
So you're close to elderly. You're not that far off.
I suggest you do that more elegantly than I did.
Generally, 60 to 65 is considered elderly, with 50 to 60 considered elderly in most countries.
Okay, ask him what the fat is. Obese is probably over 145 pounds for a female,
It's just
too.
most people think that.
I don't think he's elderly.
For the best bit.
Please respect your elders. The grandparents' generation is the elders. They're elderly. They're your
So,
grandparents.
At some
beware
point
the
in a
spacing
not
here
too
again,
distant
guys.
future, you're going to be in the elderly
Yeah, and I don't
category.
mind it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't mind it. In the elder category is the grandparent category. Actually,
There's a drop
I have
here.
friends who are grandparents
You
right
might
now.
not.
So they're going to be they could be great grandparents in 20 years.
Yeah.
They would be
When you
very
get up there,
elderly.
you come through to the middle.
They would be
You
elderly.
stand at the bottom
Yes.
of the climb as everyone comes past.
So I think Leah
give me
was
5
right.
and I'll get back
It
to
was an an access point,
Yeah, no
point
worries.
to a destination.
Guys are there. This is one where we need to really do. And pay attention to your hand holding. Okay. I'll get the hand. So when you get to here, there's a good handhold up here, and there's one in here as well. Okay, next one through.
Okay, so let's get to the end here.
Yeah, let's get to the end here.
So if you hold down there now, Russ.
I still have no desire to do whatever it is these people are doing.
You basically have to push your feet into that crack.
Brave people.
Right hand higher and pull yourself up.
Amazing. Look at all the grass that grows in these like crevices of these
pull
rocks.
yourself up.
Here's your elderly guy there, Leah. Let's see. Now you got like a good up close of him.
If you can, why not?
He's a little breathy, but I think the rest of us would be too.
I think he made it. I'm pretty proud of him.
That's amazing. Barry, that's awesome. We do have a mail call that we're going to do here. But before we get to that, let me check some comments. Elderly is a mindset, says Jewel. Chris says, I hope that there's a bunch of concrete holding all those rocks together. Don't tempt the Lord your God. Heather says, nope, no, in every language, no way. Yeah, well said.
In
Sherry
every language, no.
She says, no thanks, looks dangerous to me. Did you have to use a platform of some type to reach the stirrups? Oh, as far as getting up on that big horse, she's asking, Barry. Chris says, we respect our elders, even if they don't get it all exactly right. We can speak the truth and with love and respect. Well said. Barry says, I haven't and wouldn't walk this path. It's to climb Snowdon Mountain. There are another 6 paths to the summit of Snowdon. There is even a train that goes to the Snowdon's summit. Oh, that's very interesting. So it is definitely a place to get an avenue to which they can get, to another
Thanks
place.
for signing that, Barry. That was good armchair adventure.
Gina says, girls, come ride my horses. I've raced for over 30 years. Gina, that sounds amazing. We would love to do that. I don't know where you live.
Where do you live?
I'd love
We're
to bring my mom
coming.
for that. Katie Cat says, 60s is a senior. Elderly is more like 80s plus. See,
it depends on, I think it's how you view elderly, an elderly person. I think it's like if you view somebody as 80 as elderly, then you're going to say I'm being disrespectful. But if I see somebody as, and I don't see it the way you do, then it's just a different wording.
It's just for fun. It's really just for fun. I'll be honest. It's one, and I've said this so many times in my life. When I started reaching my late teens, I began to realize that the way I viewed age was so skewed, and it's really stuck with me. It's impacted me my whole life ever since literally that moment. I don't know if other teenagers, if the rest of you guys ever had this aha moment in your late teens, but I did. And I began to I'm like, wait, even in my late teens, I began to realize that 30s and 40s and 50s were not that old. And the older that I get, the more you realize, I think we've been viewing age all wrong.
That particular guy looked like he was in his 70s.
He did
It looked like he was Adrian's age. Yeah, he did. Okay. And so he looked like Adrian to me. And Adrian would have been, if Adrian could have hiked it, and he would have, if he didn't get cancer. And he would have. He was really in shape for they're older people, and they're really in shape, and they seem like younger people. But I bet that guy was 70 something. And, when I've been around all my grandma's friends, it was like they were elderly and they were in their early 70s.
So funny. Speaking of my grandma
was old my whole life.
Felt like she was old my whole life. But when I was a kid, she was in her 40s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I just
Almost
felt
50,
like she was old my whole life. Like she was literally the same age.
I would have called her elderly when I
life.
was 5.
I know. That's unfortunate. Gina says, I'm 59 and way not elderly. I get no breaks, work like a mule. See, exactly. So you're going to offend
But
people
I really
like
think that guy was more like 72 now that I looked at him. That's when I saw his gray hair and his beard. He looked just like Adrian.
I just thought you were judging a book by its gray-haired cover.
Yeah, he did look. I was judging him. I was judging the fact that I wouldn't be up there and he's up there.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm going to open up this package, and it's really interesting. We have done 2 shows this week that are very, very important. And like I mentioned, if you are a Resistance Chicks viewer, it's Resistance Chicks viewer required watching. Start with episode 1, who is the real Scott Kesterson. Then the next one is Show Us the Money, Scott. We will be doing our final episode. Hopefully we do not have to split that in 2. Lord willing, that's not going to happen. On Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there or be square. I know that in episode 1, I kept saying Saturday. By the time we got to the end of the episode, we realized we were going to have to break that into 2, which is why there was a little bit of confusion there. But I think it turned out really well. And the responses and the feedback that we have had, it took me all day yesterday to get through to them. A little bit ago on the show, probably about an hour and a half ago, I had flipped open through my phone and there was another 5 messages, and I just started crying because it's just, I bought a brick. I was, here's the forwarded emails of how Scott treated me like dirt, all this stuff. Okay. Like, and I can't, it's overwhelming. You know, I'm not going to liken it to I don't want to liken it to that because that's too extreme, but it's hard when you have to watch people that have been abused, people that you love. And so by all means, please keep sending your messages, even though it is very hard to get through and they do make me cry. And I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But literally that's all I did yesterday. Really, give or take, was try to get back to so many of you guys who have been used and abused. And so please follow along. I'm going to do a video in a little bit this afternoon to kind of explain a couple of things that may be just kind of dangling out there. So you can look out for that. But speaking of that specific situation, on a happy note, many of you have asked what happened to Marjorie and the school out there in Oregon. And I have no idea what's going on through Leah's head right now. She's thinking something real serious.
I am actually thinking something very, very serious.
But I wanted to, can you pause the serious thought while we do a happy thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So Marjorie, and again, it's a very serious thought even about Marjorie and what happened to her and the school and the whole 9 yards and how Scott left her high and dry and just wouldn't, ghosted her and telling me she won't return his calls when the opposite is true.
I actually
again, lying throughout the whole thing.
I want to tell you what I'm thinking. I'm losing my hair again.
Oh, no.
My hair is turning gray in the past year. The stress of my mom almost dying seemed like nothing to almost losing my sister. And I just realized it like the other day. Like the amount we're going to tell the story, and I know that on the two shows, we didn't show any emotion. We showed our own emotion.
You got kind of emotional at the end, but that was
a different kind of emotion. So when Michelle tells her story on Tuesday, I almost recorded one. I was out with horses this morning, and we're still trying to figure out how we're going to explain this because it's such a big story. And the Cantrells, if you were to, how authors write a book and they write it sometimes from a perspective of one character and then the perspective of another character, right? So there's different ways to actually narrate a story, right? Mm-hmm. There's first person, there's third person multiple, right?
Right.
So we have to do third person multiple because Michelle has her story. She's in her story and this is happening. I have a story. I'm in my story and it's happening to me. The Cantrells are in their story and it's happening to them. And each child has a story and it's happening to them. Okay. And so we have to be able to tell this story from everybody's perspective and then you guys will be able to put it together. Hopefully. Okay. And so the stress of my mom almost dying last year, it's not even the financial stress at all. You would think it would be because that would be the thing that people would look at because that should be a big stressor. It's mostly like, well, you're a big deal, but you're not. I'm not feeling you. The people are more important. And so I told Michelle the other day. I said I have gray hair and it's coming out like about. And it's for the first time, so it's like right here, like
so I have good news for you on that.
I know you can change it, blah blah.
We can fix it.
Yeah, kind of, whatever. Maybe we'll see as the Lord leads. I think you can, but you have
totally
to stop
can.
the stress first.
Exactly.
And it's been more stressful since January, and I thought it couldn't get any more stressful
once I came out.
No, since the part of a story that we can't tell.
Oh yeah, part of the story we can't tell at all.
And so. That part of the story that I can't tell you guys, that maybe I'll tell in the future.
It's our story, but it's not. It's about somebody else.
Yeah, it's
that directly impacts us.
Yeah, it's connected with Scott, and it's connected with this whole thing, and maybe we'll get that some time in the future. But that's not the main arc of it. Actually, we're kind of hoping by telling this part of the story, the main part, we'll fix this other part because
it's still broken.
It's still broken, and the stress of living under that. Basically satanic attack. We walked into a nest of demons that we didn't understand. We're operating a military con, a satanic con, into the MAGA con, into the Christian con, into all these different and it was so stealth that you all missed it too, mostly. some people, I kind of saw it, never said anything to me. I don't think anybody but Matt really kept saying stuff. And then my mom started calling things out. So I just was thinking to I was like, my hats all fit like super loose, and I'm losing my hair, and I realize why I'm losing hair. I'm like, oh, that's why I'm literally losing hair over this. So
we have been in constant spiritual warfare of the most intense kind since I walked away from Scott for 8 months.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah.
Because of the onslaught of spiritual attacks have been super intense because these demons don't want to let go.
Yeah. And things haven't fixed. And some people will say, well,
a lot has fixed, but a lot has not.
Some has, a lot of big things have fixed, but then it's almost like been displaced in the other big things. And when you have somebody who is able to make that kind of spiritual impact on you guys, on yourself, you'll see when we talk about it this week, the role that Scott's satanic shamanism played, and also the role that Brian and Alicia and CJ and Rick and Dave and Cheryl and Glad Tidings, the side role that they played in not stopping Scott from, I don't know, demonic deliverance. Nobody stopped him. Nobody's told us. Nobody warned us and said, hey, Scott is operating in witchcraft, which is why we have to come to you, explain how we know. And then all these other people, yeah, we knew. That's why I walked away. Wait, what? Didn't you not tell anybody? You explained to me again. So once we put all the pieces together, we realized, oh, high level witchcraft, high level military, asymmetrical mind control, asymmetrical warfare, mind control. And so when you wake up,
I'm not ruling out MK Ultra either.
Yeah. And so, somebody was writing Michelle. It was like, I thought I had good discernment. Now I'm having to question everything. Don't question everything. You probably have really great discernment. You just were in one of the biggest mega cons that was being run. And there might be other people connected to the same con. And I'm looking at people who are making tons of money off of this movement. And I am questioning all of their motivations. So one of those people who had a con and a mind control and a manipulation happen to her was Marjorie in Oregon, who lived near Oregon. She was supposed to, he went to her, he saw that, and she was one of our viewers first, by the way, she told me on the phone, that he went to her and he promised her these great big grandiose promises. And in essence, when I talked to Scott, he said, this is our school. This will be the vineyard. This will be the kids' school. This is Bard's Nation, Oregon. And the way he presented it was like she was gifting him this building. Like it was now Bard's, it was now Scott's, basically.
Like in his name.
Yeah. And she's like, wait, what? He never presented that part to her at all, like at all. And he was supposed to run a corresponding camp area on his property, and it was supposed to be a dance, basically. And he was supposed to pay a fee for her and help her get a permit going, and he didn't pay it, and she expected it to be paid, and she expected it to be done by him, and she expected him to continue on with to follow through with what he had promised, because it wasn't that he promised it per se, it was that he got her excited to do something and to be part of something and to make changes and to make.
So here she's and she does not have, she's like on a fixed income, and she's just like a farmer.
Right.
By herself.
And we're watching her build this building and seeing pictures of it.
And she's paying to have this school built, and she's not a big philanthropist like that. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have a bajillion dollars. She's like scrimping pennies together.
Right.
To pay to have this school built because Scott said...
He's promising the kids will come. Kids will come.
You build it and I'll get them there. And I will partner with you. And he told everybody on air that he was going to do all of this. And then all of a sudden, just like everything else, it's what happened to Marjorie? Mm-hmm. What happened to the school? And if you ask any questions, you get the boot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the story. That's the sad part of the story.
But there's a good part of the story.
The good part of the story is that I have reached out to Marjorie since all this kind of went down, and Lee and I needed to fill in some gaps and some questions and things like that. And we've messaged, a couple of times, and Leah talked to her on the phone last year when I was still under this spell. And she's been amazing. She has been amazing. Marjorie is a fabric dyer artist. I don't know what the word is for that. She dyes fabric, and she's an artist, and she's amazing. So she said that she's been saving. She's like, do you quilt? And I said, well, actually, I count myself as a quilter, and I think I'm a very, very good quilter. I love quilting. It's one of my favorite things on planet Earth to do. I have no time to do it, and my sewing room is not set up anymore like it used to be. I used to have time to hand quilt when my grandmother was alive, and I don't
She
anymore.
made the most beautiful quilt you've ever seen.
So quilting is not on. I'm hoping I can get
She's
back
really
into that
good at it.
when
It's
I
really beautiful.
settle down one day. But
These little beautiful squares.
so I told her, she's like, I want to send fabric to you, and I was like, I can take it, but I can't promise I'm gonna be able to do anything with it right away. And so I told her about the eye pillows that I make, and she said, you know what is so interesting is that I had this account years ago that it was like a health thing, and they had eye pillows, and she said it was one of my biggest accounts, and so I would dye fabric for them, silks and cottons. And what's so interesting about this, and I don't know what's in this box, is that when I started doing the eye pillows, I wanted to be able to offer you guys silks and cottons, not just satins, because silk is an organic, thing that comes from God in the earth. And I just stuck with what I know, which is the satins, but I wanted to offer for an increased price the cottons and the whatevers, because I knew it would cost more to get silks and cottons for the eye pillows. And so she tells me that she'll send me these, and I just thought, Lord, isn't that very interesting? So these are the Leah, do we have one of the silky ones? The aromatherapy eye pillows that I make. You can heat them in the microwave. You can cool them in the freezer. They stay warm or cool for about an hour. So I've sold these for years. I probably sold about 2,000 of these. And then when we launched the store, I decided to add these to the store.
One every single
So
night.
Marjorie asked me the other day if she could send a package with fabrics, like Lydia. Yes. And so I'm very excited to open this. So I'm like, of course you can send a package with the fabrics, yes. I'm not going to say no to that. So this comes all the way from Oregon and from Marjorie's dye lot here. So here we go. Oh my gosh. So dear Michelle and Leah, here's some fabric, and I'll
put it on the chair.
I don't know what this other word is. From my farm to yours. God has blessed me incredibly. As I work this beautiful slice of kingdom land every day, I ask God to bring people into my life to bless as he has blessed me. The small box of stuff doesn't even come close to how much Father has blessed me. Anyway, here's some fabric for eye pillows or whatever. The marbled fabric is my old business, but when I closed it down during COVID, I still had at least 1,000 yards of various fabrics. Hence the ice dyeing that I've just started doing. What do you think? Do you think quilters would be interested in it? You all are really the first people to see it. Anyway, enjoy. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Whoa. Thank you for your voice and all you do. May God bless and protect you. Love, Marjorie. Marjorie.
It's like little...
How in the world did you do that?
Wow.
That is amazing. Like, it's like a scarf.
It does. It's like a head.
Yes,
like
yes. If I don't know, is this the ice dyeing that she's referring to? Is it labeled?
I'm like a little babushka.
No, you need to do it on an angle.
I'm a little babushka.
This is so pretty. I need to open up the whole thing. It's so beautiful. Marjorie.
So this is the iced dyed silks.
Turn it the right side out here. Oh, that's the ice dyed?
Wow.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
These are beautiful.
That is beautiful.
And they're so soft. Oh, this would be
my gosh.
I love this green.
So I wonder what ice dyed means. Does it mean like with ice?
With ice? There's two different greens here actually.
Oh, look at how pretty. Leah, move yours.
Okay.
Let me put this.
Whoa.
Oh my! I wish the camera could catch this. Like, you have to open it up all the way. You can just set it on your shoulder. You need to open it from like the center out. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So pretty. Yes, I think.
So do you guys? Would you guys want some eye pillows?
Well, you're gonna get them one way or the other. The problem is I don't know how I'm gonna do this one because like it's like from the center out, so that I can't guarantee what colors you're gonna get. You know what I mean? They're not none of them are gonna look the same.
No, And I actually like it not as one big tie-dye.
Yeah.
But as just this beauty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so pretty. Jewel says that's breathtaking. Sherry says very pretty. Heather says, welp, now I know what I'm getting people for Christmas. Warrior Edge of Time says that's really pretty. Donna says, wow. Jewel says silk, linen, and cottons are some of the highest frequencies for healing.
Oh, wow.
Jewel says we need pictures of the quilts. One day
oh my
I will.
gosh. This is a flower embossed.
And then she's dyed the embossing to make it look like
dyed
floral.
the embossing.
Whoa, that is beautiful. Oh my gosh.
I don't think I have a favorite.
Marjorie.
Now. I thought I would have a favorite, but you have to fold them. I'll open them.
I can't fold them back up because I just want to keep looking at them.
These ones are all embossed.
Oh my gosh. No way. How cool is that? These are amazing, Marjorie. And you can feel the silk is so nice.
So nice. They're
like
silky smooth.
Silk is so like you can feel it.
I
It's
don't
just
have
nice.
much silk, so I wouldn't even know.
I don't even know if we have any silk.
I don't think I have any silk. Actually, you're right.
Oh, Laura Lee says happy birthday to Marjorie. Is it her birthday?
No way.
No.
Is she
like not literally today?
Laura Lee. Send her happy birthday.
Can we buy in advance for Marjorie's fabric to be in the eye pillows from whenever you have time to make them? Yes. yes, you can.
But what we'll probably end up doing is I think we should make maybe we should put up the swatches and then make them as you order them or something. I don't know.
I could do that. But I can just make
swatches.
them. I mean, I can just make a couple of each. It's not a problem. It's not a problem to do a couple of each. What I do is I usually cut out 10 at a time. I don't have to do that. I could cut out 2 at a time.
These are all tie-dyes that she's made. These are quilting blocks.
No, they're for I'm sure there are squares that I can use. Open them up. That I can use.
Well, no,
they are
I
for the
am
quilting.
not going to open up. It's too cute.
Leah, I want to see it. She dyed it. She even dyed the ribbon. I'm sure. This is super talent, Marjorie.
Holy cow. It doesn't stop. You guys. We don't have time to open them all up.
Yes, we do.
No.
Okay, well, you can show them.
Yes.
Okay. I'm in fabric heaven. My best friend is going to lose her mind.
Yep. Catherine, the jealousy will commence.
These are amazing. Oh my gosh, this is
so
cool.
We didn't have. Do we don't have any cotton? This is real cotton.
We know we have cotton ones.
Do we have cotton ones?
Yeah. But that is so pretty. Oh my gosh.
I feel like this takes you to another world.
It does.
Like this is like Ice World.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like
Marjorie, this is too much. This is like
labeled
too
them.
much.
She labeled them.
They're
all.
so nice. It says ice dyed. There's another ice
Pima
dyed
cotton.
one. No, open it up. Oh no, because if you're gonna lose the label.
I know. That's what I was thinking on all of these. So I need to.
So ice dyed Pima cotton here. That's so pretty.
And these
Look how pretty
special
that is.
little bags. Here, put this in the bag. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. So she made a bag.
Oh wow!
Look at that. It's got a zipper and everything. It says Marjorie Lee, and this is Marble Fabrics, medicinewheelfarms.com.
Okay, so can people still? Is that website still up?
Does she still make things?
So
because if she does, then we should. This is so soft.
Is that a silk one?
Yeah.
She dyed that in that silk, or is this like this? It's like this one.
Yeah, whatever that is.
This is so pretty.
See if that is.
Okay, I'm gonna look up the website.
Medicine Wheel.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this up.
See if she.
Marjorie, this is just way too much.
Oh my gosh! Look at this.
Is it farms with an S?
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the S. Shoot. Stop. Shoot. Okay, go ahead and show them. That's fine.
And then this is she has I don't know if she wants her information out there or not, but this was when she was doing marbled dyed fabrics. She had a full business.
No, it's not showing up.
So then what about marbled fabrics?
What's the okay, marbled fabrics.
Medicine Wheel.
Hang
Farms.
on. Wait, no.
Do you know?
No. Let me
not wheels.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah.
Farms.
Yeah.
And marbled fabrics. Oh, there. No.
Try marbledfabrics.com.
Marbledfabrics.com. There it is.
There she is. Okay.
Amazing. Guys. So marbledfabrics.com. Marjorie has been creating unique marbled cottons and silks since 1986. She began marbling fabrics for quilts, but soon became so busy producing fabric for others that she had little time for quilting. In 1994, Marjorie began to sell fabric wholesale to quilt shops and designers. Through this website, you can order custom fabrics directly from Marjorie. The images on these pages are just a small sampling of the range of colors and patterns which are available. If you have a specific request in mind, please contact Marjorie by phone or by email. So there's the cottons, and the cotton variety pack is what you were holding up
Look at all
a minute
these
ago.
colors. This is some of the most beautiful
these are
fabric
stunning.
I have ever seen in my life.
Marbled Fabrics.
Oh my.
Yeah, marbledfabrics.com.
They're just to die for. I mean, they're just
This is so nice.
and they're so
She literally made this adorable little purse.
So, Marjorie,
has a
I
pocket
don't
in it.
know how much this is all worth, but
Did you hold up the other ones? This pink one? You didn't even get to these. Holy cow. What kind of material is this?
I don't know. I have to ask her. And then this purple one.
It says silk jacquard. Wow.
I just feel like I'm touching
Whoa.
something very expensive.
Who wants a silk jacquard eye pillow? Look how pretty that is.
Wow.
Amazing.
I do. I want 10 of them.
Stinking amazing.
I want every color.
What's that one say on it? Does it have a staple on? What kind of fabric? It's
I
got to be
think
the
it's the
same
same
thing.
thing, yeah.
Look at. No, you have to hold it up. I'll fold them all up in a minute. I'm just stunned. Marjorie, this is like the talent here
It's amazing.
is next level.
Yeah, no, she's legit. She's like a pro. She's obviously a professional. Like,
These are beautiful.
and they're so soft.
These are beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like you can't see it on the camera just how detailed. It's like she painted it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like look at this kind of color scheme like in the middle there. Like, it's not showing up well on camera.
Okay, there's more.
Okay.
This is what I'm excited
Oh,
about.
yeah.
She's got freeze dried cherries and raspberries.
Open them up.
This is just from just a couple days ago.
You could do head wraps.
Actually, I like those kind. The kind that they wear, in Russia or.
I just can't get over these. I literally cannot get over these.
I think I need your knife for that.
Oh, okay.
Can't get it. It didn't open all the way. Okay, so she made some prayer beads. Oh, the prayer beads are come in a nice little bag that she makes.
Oh my gosh. Marjorie. Okay, these aren't. We'll have to put. Let's see. I don't want to cut myself here.
So these are prayer
There we
beads.
go.
Is Marjorie Catholic?
I don't know.
So you pray. Usually, prayer beads for Catholics are you pray the Our Father,
Mm-hmm.
and you each bead you move up each bead, and you a Hail Mary each bead.
That's so pretty, though. That's gorgeous. Hang on, I want to make sure that that's showing up on the camera. Marjorie, that is so pretty. It's got a little butterfly at the end.
It's really pretty. It's really pretty.
Wow, thank you. This is like way too much, Marjorie. Like way too much. She said to me in an email today, she said, I hope that you enjoyed packaging it as much as I enjoyed making it. And I thought, I haven't unpackaged it yet.
Figs.
She told me about, this smells so good. These cherries. She literally has.
Oh my gosh.
These are delicious.
Figs.
Oh no. I'm going to sit here and eat
figs.
No. Marjorie, this is an explosion of flavor in my mouth.
Plums.
Stop it. Are those dehydrated or freeze-dried?
These are dehydrated. Oh.
So, I have to let you all in on a little secret.
Oh.
When I'm out working in my shop, I'm eating dehydrated fruits. So this is going out in the shop.
You have a tang. I like it, but it's tang.
I'm going to have one. All right. Give me the tangy. Give me the tangy.
Oh, I like tangy. It was too much at one time.
What is this again? What am I eating? A fig?
No, this one is a plum, but very good. It's very plummy, but a bite at a time. Don't just put the whole thing in your mouth.
I love it.
All the
I don't
sour.
know what you're talking about.
Because I put the whole thing in my mouth and I just like, I'm tearing up.
It's delicious.
I'm tearing up.
I don't have no tears.
Okay. Here we go.
What's that? The flavor in my mouth, bush pears.
Oh, Bosh.
Whoa. I wish I could share my flavor vision with you people.
Dehydrated fruit is concentrated sugar. It's so good.
This is delicious. Marjorie. This is what we should all be eating.
Yes.
Stop with the snacks. Oh my gosh.
So get some pears.
Laura Lee said she prays over each bead. Her heart is beyond beautiful, and she stewards the earth God has given her with every ounce of her being. Laura Lee, you said happy birthday. Does that mean today literally is her birthday? These are so good. I just want to like turn the show off and just eat these, all of them, but I won't because now I have to cherish them and save them. And I have these fabrics and this amazing, like all the way down to the fact that she's dyeing the ribbon. Look at this. Look at it. Amazing. What's in there now?
Garlic
She told me
pops.
she was going to send a garlic. That's awesome.
So these are great because what I'm going to do.
We'll take some and plant them.
This is the more exciting.
These are beautiful. These are beautiful.
I'm not going to eat these. We're not eating these. We are
can't
going
eat
to
any of
no,
them?
maybe one. We're gonna take these, and in the fall, just a month, I can do this as early as the beginning of September.
What are the odds that we would open up Marjorie's package on her birthday?
I don't know, but she sent this garlic.
This is amazing.
And this is what I'm
praise the Lord.
So excited because this is me. I don't sew. I'm happy to look at it, but I plant garlic. This is what I do.
That's exciting.
So you take each one off individually in the fall. Plant them 6 inches deep down. They individual each toe. Like this is a clove. You want to do each toe.
Chris says that is so sweet that she sent you guys presents for her birthday.
Sorry, this is a bulb. You can call it a clove or a toe.
That's so accurate, Chris. She sent us presents for her birthday.
It's better to give than to receive.
Well, she's going to receive, and y'all know what she's going to receive. So that's coming. That's going to happen.
Okay.
Amazing. This is absolutely like I cannot, Marjorie, with all of this. With all of the fabrics. So if you guys would like to order from Marjorie, marbled with a D, marbledfabrics.com. Marbledfabrics.com. Are they delicious? Stop it. Here's the thing, Leah, and I'm not kidding, and I mean this genuinely, and I'm going to say this live on air, and I don't care how it makes you feel. We will divide that. And you will get your portion, okay? Because Leah will sit down and eat a whole bag of something that she likes.
I can't really eat the dehydrated ones because I break out in
Tell them the
hives.
truth. Okay, but sometimes, Leah, you have a problem with the little poopy when you eat certain chocolates,
But
with
not fruit.
But you'll still
freeze
eat them
dried
all.
stuff. If you have to make sure you drink enough water. So
You
I
do need to
can't
drink
eat-
water with dehydrated.
You
I'm saying-
legitimately cannot eat. Like, here's the good news. If I eat more than a handful of those, then I break out in hives, so I can't.
Okay.
So it's good news.
Janelle wants to know, does she sell her fruits? That would be worth emailing and asking. Because that was some of the greatest stuff I've ever had in my life. Like, that was amazing. So the fabrics here that I have still in my lap, all of these, I can't get over it. So yes, we will be making some of these available on shop.resistancechicks.com for you guys to purchase with Marjorie's fabric. We will label them as such. I am not going to raise the price for Marjorie's fabric items because she gifted these to us. If I had to buy silks, and the more expensive fabrics, I was going to have to raise the price. But I'm not going to do that because these were gifted.
Well, they may not be buy one get one free though.
Maybe they will. I don't know.
No,
I haven't
you think
taken
so?
that sale off the website yet either. Speaking of the website, I would like to read a review that came in today, if I may. Here, and you guys, by all means, you can you can send reviews. So here's how you send a review. You go to shop.resistancechicks.com and go to the product that you want to leave a review for. Scroll all the way down to the description and you'll look over and it says reviews. And you can read those there. This was one of the most honest reviews, and I loved it, by the way. This is from Drew. He gave it 5 stars on the Homestead Hands Tallow Face and Body Butter. Drew says, This review will focus on 3 categories: customer service, quality, and price. When I received my first shipment, the package did not arrive exactly as expected. Some of this stuff leaked out. He's not telling you that, but I am. After contacting Michelle, she sent out a new package the same day. Upon arrival, the love and pride in her products was obvious. 5 out of 5. Product quality: better than anything in the store. This is from a dude, by the way. My skin feels so smooth, and it saved my skin from peeling after the first time summer sunburn. I use it on my lips when they dry out or are burnt. 5 out of 5. Price: yes, I was a little hesitant to buy initially because of the price, but you need so little product that I am still using the same container that I bought 4 months ago with daily use. The value makes the product well worth the price. I'll never use anything else. 5 out of 5. So thank you for that. And then Victoria left a review the other day. She says, I've used other natural deodorants for 14 years, but this one outdoes that one in how long it lasts. I have to apply the other one 4 times a day.
Whoa.
I only need this once or twice daily tops.
Wow. Wow.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for the reviews. Thank you guys for going to shop.resistancechicks.com and making purchases. We will make these eye pillows available. I'm really excited. I am almost out of Healing for the Soul essential oil blend. So once I finish making that batch.
You have it.
I have it ready to go.
Ready to go.
Once I finish making that batch, I will get to the sewing machine and I will make Marjorie's fabrics available.
So I just want to wear them as scarves. Are we allowed to?
I don't know.
Could we
Do I look like, you know what's so funny about my hair like this today? I feel like I am one of those like African tribeswomen or something.
I love what they do with their hair. I love
Heather says, thank you for those garlic tips, Leah. I needed those directions.
Oh, okay. So it's super
Make
simple.
Sure you're showing the
Heather,
fabric part.
Garlic is no fail. It's the best and easy. And then what you do is in the spring, end of spring, early summer, they'll grow these garlic. They're called garlic scapes. They pop up. You can cut them and use them. They're these little tiny mini garlic, like cloves on top. You can cook them just like garlic, and you can use the scapes too, the green part.
Yeah.
And then once they have garlic scaped, and the garlic scapes die back, it's ready to harvest.
Yeah. So I want to read a couple more comments, and then we'll sign off. Katie Cat says, "Wow, gorgeous, amazing, to die for." Get it? Love Tangy.
You get the dad joke of the day.
That was good. Gina says that she lives in Central Valley, California, just below the giant trees in Yosemite. I'd love to have you girls. Well, we have been talking about planning a trip, so I'll get in touch with you.
Away,
Roger says, well, how wonderful to see y'all again. Been too long. Glad you're here, Roger. Gina says, maybe going forward, we need to deeply focus on deliverance of all kinds. That would be great for all.
Yes.
Katie Cat says, I love that cloth on your hair. It looks great. That's awesome. I should have, you know what? I should request Marjorie to make me a custom wrap for my head. That would be super fun. You look like Mary with blonde hair.
I really like it.
They're so beautiful. Janelle says she does. Oh no, she says, does she sell her fruits? Okay. I still have to find out whether she does. The Borg Work says, great end to this show. Happy birthday, Marjorie.
Yes.
I'm just overwhelmed. Marjorie, this is all just way too much. Happy birthday. I'm going to try and give her a call today. I know she's 3 hours behind, so I got time before she has to go to bed.
Maybe you should also, since there's a lot of material here, you could make little head wrappy things.
Like what head
like
wrappy things?
This, like you wrap it around your head.
This is a long scarf. It's about this long, and it's about this wide, like that. So
Like
I would hate to use the fabric for that. I don't know,
but I like it. Like what about
really
like a headband? Headbands. You wear headbands all the time.
I do. But then you'd have to have an elastic on them of some sort.
Yeah, you got to work at it.
We'll see what applications we can put Marjorie's amazing and beautiful fabrics to.
I want to start wearing headbands. I like it. I want to wear headbands. Kind of make my.
I mean, honestly, you could do Marjorie do-rags. You know, I could sew over the edges. I could finish off the edges, and then you would have it, and you could wear it like a do-rag because that is so pretty. It's like literally gorgeous.
Well, no, I don't think there's that much to do. A do-rag.
You don't think there's enough fabric. Well, I could buy fabric from her and make them available. We're always. Do you know how many times I buy do-rags for Mom from the place that shall not be named?
I don't know if you should turn that into a snot cloth.
It's not a snot cloth. It's a statement. Yeah. That one might not be long enough. Or there you go. There's your headband. All right, Marjorie, amazing. I praise God for you. I just want to lift up Marjorie in prayer right now for her birthday and for everything that she's gone through. Father God, we just lift up Marjorie to you and that school. It is intended for the use of the kingdom.
Amen.
And what the devil meant for evil, God is going to turn around for good. So we just pray, Lord, that whatever you have to use that for, I pray that you open doors that no man can close and you close doors that no man can shut, like this one. That that God obviously wanted. That looks awesome. That God obviously wanted closed. But I thank you, Father God, that you are sending Marjorie people to come alongside her who will be committed, who will be able to support her, who will be able to support this vision of being able to train up people in the way that it is getting back to the land.
Yeah.
And I just thank you, Father God, for all that you're doing in her life, that you are blessing the call that you have placed on her life, and you are giving her what the devil tried to steal.
Amen.
You are repaying back 30, 60, and 100 fold, so that men will heap unto her bosom. And I thank you for her heart. I thank you for the beauty that she is, and that her name is not going to be sullied, that we are decreeing and declaring right now in the name of Jesus that Marjorie's name is going to go down in the annals of history as a woman that loved God and loved his children. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So if you guys would like to get in touch with Marjorie and you live anywhere near her in Oregon, and you would, and heaven help you if you do, because that means you live near the other person, but, and would like to come alongside her with this school, what Marjorie, her vision to do, and the Cantrells were there. You look really cool.
No, so what I'm also thinking, these particularly, you could make a ton. This is what I'm actually going to probably start doing. I want to wear these little ribbony things. You could make little hair ribbons.
You could. Leah, so at Marjorie's quote unquote school, she grows a lot of food. And she teaches people a lot of natural things on growing food. And that's what it was supposed to be about.
Yes.
To get people back to the land, to know how to take care of the land, to live off of the land, to grow the fruits, to grow the vegetables.
Right.
That's what her school was intended for. It's not a school like we think school.
No.
So let's be clear here.
Right.
It's a school for getting back to God's organic purpose for our lives.
Right.
And it was a beautiful, beautiful vision that Marjorie has not given up on.
Nope.
And I don't mind telling you.
The Cantrells actually helped for a while.
And the Cantrells helped for a while. I don't mind telling you that she had work people around there that all of them, I think she said all, said that they found that Scott was creepy. Just saying. But it is definitely a worthy cause. So please support Marjorie at the very least. Email her and send her a happy birthday. And I'm sure you can get her email address from the marbledfabrics.com, marbledfabrics.com, and just go, hey, I watched you on the Resistance Chicks. I watched your stuff. It's amazing. And just wanted to send you encouraging notes.
Yeah.
So Barry says, great show, girls, as always. Well done. Naswath is that his Welsh goodbye that he always says. Janelle says, I lost all my contact when I got my new phone. So this is the first time I have seen you in a long time. Got appointment. Thanks. Janelle, I'm so glad that you're here. That's awesome. Praise God. All right. So we will not be here tomorrow night, but we will be here on Tuesday night for one of the most earth-shattering, groundbreaking, amazing episodes that you have seen on Resistance Chicks ever. Pray for us, because we are still working on how the Lord would have us to cohesively deliver this message. In a way that it not only tells the story and tells the truth, but helps to set you guys free and bring healing to everybody that hears. That's the main goal. So I think that that's it. If you would like to make your purchases, I'm just going to focus mostly not on shop.resistancechicks.com, but on Marjorie's Marbled Fabrics, marbledfabrics.com. I'm so pleased. Marjorie, thank you so much, and happy birthday to you. We love you so much. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory. If it's actually the truth, also worth putting on your calendars, please do this. Next Saturday, we're going to re-premiere the...
Wait.
What, do we have something to do?
No, we got to tell them about tagging Becky's revival.
Is that on Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm not going to do it that night.
Right.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Before we sign off, resistancechicks.com. I'm going to take you there so you can see the flyer. www. Thank you, Leah. We'll do it 1 week after that. No, I don't want to actually log in. Resistancechicks.com. I want you to visit the show and event calendar when you get there. If you live anywhere near Indiana next Saturday, which that wasn't the weekend I was going to do it anyway, because I wanted to do it the anniversary weekend. So here's I know how to get to my own website. Show and event calendar. Here's the flyer, the house meeting, Saturday, August 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in Oxford, Indiana, which I don't know why I can't premiere it, because it's not like they're live streaming. Are they live streaming? Because if they're not live streaming, then I think it's totally okay for us to premiere it. By all means, you can watch Monsters of America anytime. But for those of you that are not attending the house meeting, I probably still will go ahead and premiere the Monsters of America that night. This will be in Oxford, Indiana. Lisa Schwartz, she's done revivals 2 doors down from us twice. You will get an experience with the Lord 3 times. Well, we've been twice. And just come ready to receive from the Lord. And Tag and Becky are part of the Resistance Chicks Healing Ministry team. And what do I mean by that? It's not like they're exactly partners. They're doing their own thing, but they have made themselves available that if you guys need prayer, that they're there. And so you can always contact them. Tag's email is at the bottom if you have any more questions on how to get there. But the address is right there, 6 p.m., 302 West Plum, Oxford, Indiana, August 9th at 6 p.m. Please go and join if you can, if you live anywhere near Indiana. If you can't go and you do not live anywhere near there, I am going to, I think, go ahead and premiere The Monsters of America, because it's 1 year to almost the day that we premiered the full documentary. So we'll put it on air, and we will, and it'll be the live chat, and you guys will be able to watch it. So that'll be on all platforms. So if you'd like to join us for that, put that on the calendar. That will be, how long is it? Do you know how long it is?
It's long.
It's like 3.5 hours, right? It's long. So we will start it at 7 p.m. Yep. That's good. That's a good time. 7 p.m. next Saturday, we're going to re-premiere Monsters of America. All right. We love you guys. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. God bless.